Better if I had to change Windows and then turned it down because like, where's the button? I can't find the button. Okay, so making sure I'm on the right game. Yes, it is Friday. So it is the 110th session for the Friday crew, and that makes it Phase 3, Season 2, Episode 2. Finding out what happens next after they had a brief bout with the front lines. Online today we have M.
Hello, I'm Zal, your ever-lovable cleric wizard. Nice dramatic pause there.
Yeah. I know you were waiting for someone to jump in, but we thought we'd let you go.
Thanks. I am...
Ranger wannabe.
yeah, close enough, right? Yeah, I kind of am a ranger wannabe, but though you haven't really seen me pick up my bows in a while, so that might change.
The only arrow you've got would make a paladin nervous.
She does have a few other arrows as well.
I actually have like 3 arrows. I have the golden arrow and at least 2 elven ones, so...
So the problem is if she fires the special arrow, there's a good chance it will divert. As it is a specific Cheval-seeking arrow. Which happens when the spirit of the person he killed incorrectly, as the case may be, so killed an innocent as a paladin and now she's cursed him. Which does bring you up to speed on what the arrow does.
Mm.
Yeah,
so they have to be stolen to my mother, who possesses my golden arrow, to not shoot the paladin when I'm trying to shoot something that's trying to kill us.
Though I'm sure the argument will go, well, I can go straight through the paladin and then hit your target.
But, you know...
He's tough, he can handle it.
Collateral damage.
Even though it's supposed to be like an instant kill for him, but anyway.
Yeah, it's a heart-seeking arrow.
Well, that's simple. You just have to become. He has to become heartless.
Some would say he has been a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Though his backstory was he got in trouble for executing people for being wrongly accused of an action, and it turned out to be another PC after he found out that why he was done. It's like, well, that's a little...
That's a bit awkward.
Which then brings us to the people at the table today. First up we have is Gary.
Hello everyone, I'm playing Anton, a Traladaran warlock, who's been reflecting on the paradox of power, that you can be both simultaneously powerful and completely and utterly helpless at the same time. And in the implication that... you never have enough power. So what happens? What do people do in that situation? You can see how people, fall from grace, if you like.
There are many things that offer power.
Yeah, well...
Very few things offer power without a price.
Exactly, and that's the point, You've got to be able to resist that temptation.
You're playing a warlock.
Yeah. And we just faced a huge cloud, miles long, and an army of constructs. And
power always comes at a price. You already know that because you're a warlock.
I know.
Yes, but I'm just saying. He never read the contract.
Well, there was never
Most
a contract.
warlocks don't.
There was never a contract.
What do you say?
There is a contract. You just never bothered to ask about it.
I'm sure he was possessed at the time he agreed.
But is actually valid.
The body agreed, but the mind wasn't there.
So it's not soulbound.
We don't know. I'm chained to my master.
No, he's using the power though.
I'm chained to my master. I don't know anything more than that.
If he wasn't bound to the contract, he wouldn't have the power.
Okay, so as soon as you drew upon it, you accepted the contract.
Pretty much. He accepted the terms and conditions without seeing it. Some gods are like that. You should know. Which then brings us to Ross.
Yes, I play Yodri, the handsome, swashbuckling, short halfling. Yes, currently... Actually, we no longer have our little vessel, do we? We're now inland, aren't we?
You are inland, yes.
And now landlocked again.
Hey, you did get a session on the water.
Yeah, but as soon as we go, oh great, we're not going to go that way. We'll have to go back.
But you're still on the water.
Yeah.
It's like the player who complained he never got to ride his horse into combat.
Well, as soon as you complain about something, got to be careful
Yeah, but
because
then
it
you
could be a result, a case of wish fulfilled.
Yeah, and then he got disconnected.
Well, he also had a statement last night about how he's undefeated. No one can defeat him, and I mentioned I can bring back the elf he met in the Elven Forest. It's like, no, let's move on.
Elf.
I kept trying to change the subject every time I mentioned the Elven Knight in full Dwarven plate armor, who's technically part of multiple clans, because he's an honorary member of many clans.
That doesn't make sense.
He did service to the Dwarven clans, and they made him an honorary member.
Yeah.
And that would have been like 600-700 years ago. And he's one of the clan champions.
Does he have clan daggers then?
He does.
Oh, sweet.
He's technically a member of the Dwarven Kingdom, the Elven Kingdom, the Halfling Kingdom, Gnomish Kingdom.
Nice.
Okay,
And-
so this is Sir Goody Two Shoes.
Oh no, he pretty much abuses people if they do the wrong thing. He's more than willing to tell people that they're an idiot to their face.
Okay, so Mr. Goody Two Shoes. Yep.
Okay, so yes, you are up to the first day of the 4th month of the year. We
Hey!
have at the table Ariadne, who I forgot to mention earlier.
Exactly. You missed out on the most important character, Calcrix. The white dragon with the jazz wings, who currently now looks like a puppy dog, going, play?
It's one big puppy dog.
It is.
Okay, we're going to call you Clifford.
She is a large-size white dragon, well, mostly white. Just ignore the black and blue scales. They have nothing to do with the Fey Dark, Queen of Darkness, or the Dragon God of Wisdom and Light.
Those highlight your better features, don't
Maybe you
they?
should get some piercings.
Absolutely.
You just
It's
say it's punk.
strictly decorative. The first thing you will notice about Calcrix, though, is not only her bright and friendly blue eyes, but she's uncommonly friendly for a dragon. A trait which she's been telling people she gives credit to the party who rescued her from slavery, which would include Zal, Yodri, and
Sure.
Cheval.
It was Jeff.
Was it Jed?
But Yodri did
Jeff.
contribute
Jeff.
after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have
Jeff
been
was
a...
Jeff was the one who played tag with you a lot.
And Jeff was the one with the jar of dirt.
The what?
Jar
I
of
had
dirt.
Jar
the jar
of
of
dirt,
dirt.
that's right.
allowed me to move around.
I haven't got round to watching. I've been compiling all of Calcrix's history into a single document, which is currently 5 pages. It's got all her items and where she got them from, who she's friends with, who she owes obligations to, that kind of thing. Speaking of obligations, at the moment she's accompanied by her friend Eep, who's a tiny dark plant-like creature who can be heard to exclaim on occasion, "By God!" when things are going well, or somewhat more obscurely, "Death to the infidels!" We're not quite sure what that means. She's been handing out cookies from Calcrix's very special cookie bag. Am I able to update them, or will I update them during game?
We can update them during game.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll be fun to find out what happened as we go.
Because we've recently discovered with the introduction of our newest Fey Wild member, Fey Ree, the fairy dragon. I'm not going to try and say that 5 times fast.
Actually, I think there's a thing if you say it 5 times or something like that as well. Isn't there?
It's normally 3 times. 3
Yeah.
times the charm.
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
isn't that how we summon people?
Yeah. That all Fey creatures come with obligations when you give, pass, somehow move objects between them.
Including compliments can be given. And
including-
people go, but I just said you look good. It's like, we gave them a compliment. They have to give you something in return.
Yeah, that's right. Which could be used against a Fey creature in a way
can
if
be
you wanted
greatly.
to get things, but if the Fey creature caught on, could also be used against you. And I suspect that should a Fey creature turn on, you would regret that.
And the ones who normally turn on people are the Fey Dark.
And just to finish off her introduction, one of her proudest accomplishments is graduating from the Brewmeister Barista Academy, where she went on to develop her own magical variety of healing coffee and the aforementioned healing cookies that come from...
Highly addictive.
Yep. For good reason. It means that you will always buy more. She needs to trademark it all, maybe. She probably already has. Grindelwaffle, her usual gnome coffee making gnome companion, would probably have taken care of that.
Most likely drawn up franchise papers as we speak.
That's right, because
The gnomes are very good at creating pyramid schemes.
we have established in Tuesday's game that there is in fact on her lands a gnomish legal team that Calcrix employs to take care of things, as she learnt with her dealings with Yodri. Having a good understanding of the law is a wise foundation to have when you have a coffee empire, for lack of a better word.
And especially having a gnomish understanding of the law means that
Yes.
most other people will have no clue what they've just agreed to.
And I'm just going to quickly finish hitting up my
Okay,
food.
so the gnomes
and
are
I'll be
slowly taking over the world because I've got my little merchant empire run by halflings and gnomes.
The gnomes do take over a lot of the world, but they are stuck to working off their cities as their home. So they always have to return to one of their centres, because otherwise the more time they spend away from it, the weaker they become.
Sounds like a certain series of dwarves.
They are similar to they have a similar curse to the dwarves, just that it's not as harsh. The dwarves are bound to one location, the gnomes are bound to their cities.
Yeah.
Didn't one of the cities get destroyed?
3 of the cities have been destroyed.
So that means there's only one left.
I know there are 3 still going in the setting. There's one above the dwarven capital on their sacred mountain that is obviously not there. Is one of the Nomi cities. Another one is in the mountaintops of Irendi, and the other is
Alphadia or whatever.
it's currently sitting crashed on the centre of Alphatia.
Crashed? I thought it was still flying.
No, it was taken out when someone dropped a fire devastation orb on the city.
Because wasn't that the one that they didn't want to get involved with anything?
That is the
Yes.
one they didn't want to get involved in anything, and it crashed into the centre of the Alphatian nation, right on their capital. Took out at least one suburb.
Okay, that sounds like a player thing.
It was just Wednesdays and Tuesdays groups working together.
Yeah.
Hey, I just crashed an airship which caused, which prevented a plague, which also caused a starvation. So, and they deliberately crashed a ship into a capital.
Well, they burnt down the Alphatian sky fleet.
Just to add a little bit of character context, when this news is being discussed, Carl Crix looks up off to the corner and whistles slightly. Nothing to do with our group.
Boy, are they going to be screwed up when the gnomes get their hands on them.
Technically, we were doing a favour. We were getting rid of the Orb of Destruction, and Tuesday group, technically as indemnity, we merely passed on the Orb of Destruction. It was Wednesday's group who dropped it on top of an alpha.
Yeah, but the destruction of a gnomish city.
As I said, technically, it wasn't us that did
Well,
drop it.
Wednesday's group's in the process of negotiating how to fix it.
How to fix it?
Yeah, all I can expect is going to be timey-wimey stuff, and that's not going to work. Because
from what I can tell,
the God of Time will say, I'm getting fed up with this.
as long as Martin's okay with me saying it, from what I can tell, it's going to be a process of just helping them
Well, there
actually
goes our
go through the process.
there goes our idea of liberating them, because weren't they sort of stuck there? They couldn't actually leave.
That's why they can't leave. Their city's crashed.
Yeah, but I thought previously they couldn't move because of the country actually wanted them to stay there, because that was the
Well, they did want them to stay there because they have technological advantages over the Alphatian design stuff.
Sorry, I didn't realise you were still talking.
And
Oh, sorry, you finished.
and they were Wednesday group was just starting to learn what Alphatia actually does normally. They're only on the edges of learning what the Alphatian fleet was designed to do.
yeah. Well, aren't they basically elven extremists?
No, most of them aren't Elven.
Probably.
No, they're more Genasi than Elven.
Okay, I should say Genasi extremists.
That would be correct, yes.
They're Genasi Nazis.
I was thinking it's a shame that it didn't end up being in the game on Wednesday, because Calcrick's, that knowledge would have actually been really useful for her.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if she'd found out about it, she would have been able to help send resources, because she knows gnomes,
Mm-hmm.
and she could have passed it on to this group, who would also have an interest in just knowing what happened.
Well, they had discovered that the gnomes have been taken off work on their floating city to help rebuild the Alphatian Armada military vessels, because their entire fleet was taken out of the air. And when you say entire fleet, imagine maybe 10,000 or so skyships.
So was it the Gnomish fleet taken out or the Alphatian?
Both.
Both, okay.
Because the gnomes were there at the time.
Okay. Take a while to replace 10,000 ships.
Well, most of those ships were legacy vessels. Very few had been built in the last 5 or 10 years.
Mm.
And when you have ships that can technically continually last, as long as you replace the damaged components, you spend 10 to 100 years building one, it can last you for 20 to 50,000 years. So most of their vessels that were destroyed was they lost a whole lot of history in one big go. So that's why you guys are still around, because otherwise they would have carpet bombed the entire region you come from and done the equivalent of glass the planet.
Cute kitty cat.
Hey buddy.
I was gonna give him a cuddle and then pass him over to you to put on his chair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now you're happy.
Cat face.
So, you start the session in Darrington City at the Knights River Inn, having just gotten back in there from the front lines.
Now, we didn't. My recollection, it has been a few weeks, was that we learned that what was powering all that construct army was like the Soul Forge or something.
Was the Gnomish Soul Forge that
Gnomish.
powers all Gnomish technology.
And it's in the Shadow Dark.
And it's in the pretty much the Shadow Dark. It's behind the Master's veil of control,
Okay.
and he can use the Soul Forge to control any who enter his realm.
Okay.
which is how we can rip the soul from your body.
Okay, so I was thinking that the task was to actually get to said Soul Forge and destroy it, but sounds like it's not going to be quite as easy as I thought.
Our task from last session, when we started off with Regiment, was that we, all of the groups, we need to start getting allies.
Okay.
For the next confrontation with the Master, because we are vastly outnumbered and we have to replace all the troops we lost in the last confrontation.
So I'll give you a chance to update them on Eep at this point if you wish to.
Well,
Wait a second, isn't Eep Faye?
I was going to say,
Yes.
Yes, so what do we owe him?
I was going to say, to add some suspense, do you mind giving me until he's happy and I put him down and just a few minutes to eat before I do that?
That's all good. So you've been given a nice meal and a relaxing time, couple of drinks to help pass the time while Redrian's busy dealing with other affairs before he comes in to catch up with you. So later in the afternoon, he finally gets around to you and sits down at the table looking rather weary and says, a lot has happened.
Calgreek's passes him.
Yep.
He's gotten news that the Master's forces have over 50,000 troops altogether, with 10,000 of those being the automatons.
Jesus. And that's only taking him a year to get together?
He's had a long time to put everything together.
So cheated.
Well, he's got a soul
no.
forge.
No. The thing is, isn't time works differently in some areas? So he could have been doing that in another area.
He also has access to the World Tree, so who knows what shenanigans he does with that. The Darrican forces in total are 30,000. But of that 30,000, 20,000 of them are untrained troops who have not actually fought in any large-scale battle. So, to put in perspective, you'd probably say that they're probably about 14, 15-year-olds.
Wow. But that's true of most armies in that kind of, under those kind of circumstances.
Well, the shock troops of Darrican, they were the legions that were stationed on the two forts, north and south, have been gutted to the point of they're almost considered brand new armies of new troops.
That's what I mean. Like, if you look at the history of, say, something like Tolkien and things like Helm's Deep, they had, barely 15, 14, 16-year-olds.
But Helm's Deep was a reserve unit. It wasn't their standing army. So when you talk about standing army versus reserve, the standing army should have more experienced troops. Yeah. But a reserve is the elderly and the young, which is what Helm's Deep was.
Yeah, but this is an army that's been, our Darrican's army has been greatly diminished.
Yeah, so what I was trying to say was that the Darrican's main army is the equivalent of a reserve army right now.
That's what I was trying to say too, but my own backwards way.
All good. I just trying to remember what I was saying.
Sorry.
That's okay. I was trying to get you a chance to eat. So he says, yes, that there's currently on this side of the lake is about 15,000 troops, with a majority of those being the automatons. And he expects the Master's going to take the next 8 months bringing his troops across the lake. Until then, he doesn't think the Master's going to push forward. It would
right. We have 8 months to learn how to deal with the
So what was that, Em?
Sorry, I was saying. So technically, we have 8 months to learn how to deal with the automatons.
Well, it was easy, but you need to take out the Soul Forge out.
Is the blanket on?
The blanket's not on. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, turn it on and he'll be more inclined.
Okay, so currently you have 2-to-1 odds against the Master's troops. Redrian says you technically need 3-to-1 with the troops you have to even have a chance of coming out victorious.
Yeah.
Well, to keep up with him.
At 3-to-1, he expects it to be annihilation of both forces.
That's what I'd be worried about.
And that's with the 15,000 on this side of the thing. So Darrakin can't assault the Master's forces. So what they're doing is putting up a display of overwhelming force without actually attacking. So they are going to crush and overwhelm any unit that ventures too far away from the Master's troops, no matter how much it costs Darrakin, just so the Master keeps pulling back and trying to bring overwhelming force across.
Because that means he's going to expend effort and weaken by time by him bringing more troops to play because he's convinced we have more than what we've got.
That is basically the thing. The Master probably doesn't realise just how unskilled the Darrakin army is in comparison to his forces.
How can we be so confident he's so ignorant?
Because currently this is the tactics he's using.
Okay. So just moves forward, consolidates, and then moves forward again.
Well, he hasn't moved from the city he took on this side of the lake, and he's protecting his artillery pieces.
You put your chair.
Which need to be taken out.
So if he was to make a push and left the artillery pieces unguarded, there's a good chance Darrakin would throw its troops and take it. They've got multiple halfling units in preparation for such a move. Hidden in the countrysides near the Master's forces. But while his troops are there, there's just too many of them for the halflings to get through. So,
And it's cheating.
and he's sure that the Master knows that there's troops in the region but can't find them. Because they are making enough of a nuisance of his forces. But he's not making any major push forward either. We were expecting him to just keep on going when he reached this side of the lake, but he stopped. So I think he may have overextended his technology and needs to bring it across enough to keep the technology running over distance.
What's he bringing? What would we bringing across?
Whatever he needs to power his vehicles.
Well, we don't actually know that.
No. It's not a technology anyone here is familiar with.
So did we help with the overextending, or did he just not realize the extent his technology could do?
We think it's the lake. He pushed across the lake in a big push and then entrenched himself till he could bring across support.
Yeah, right.
Which is why he hasn't been pushing forward. If he had his full army here, he would just keep going.
Water has proven a very big obstacle for him. I think that's got to do with the undead and water.
And so he has basically turtled on this side of the lake. He's not here himself, and we think he's not going to come over until the majority of his forces are here. And it's not easy for him to get them across. Something about this land and his land not being fully compatible. So
Well, that's in our favour at least.
it is. He doesn't seem to be able to teleport from his lines, from his rear to his front lines.
Good news?
Whereas if he had that capacity, we'd all be gone already.
But it's only good news for a small amount of time more.
So estimation and divinations have said that he will move again come winter. His forces will be strong enough for him to advance.
Does that lake freeze over?
It does not freeze over.
Okay, well, that's a good bonus.
Or at least it has never frozen over in our lifetime. Doesn't mean there's not a chance he won't learn to know how to freeze it over. If anyone would have the knowledge to do so, someone who's on the edge of becoming a god probably has the capacity to do so. So
what can we do?
he's looking at a manifold plan. He has gone and sent a bunch of others off to do some jobs for him. And so what he's looking at is sending people out to do... people will be taking to the field to basically skirmish with his forces over the period to punish any of his scouting groups he sends out. So he doesn't know when that's going to happen or who's going to be assigned to that. Just that it will be anyone who's nearby will be sent to deal with them. He doesn't expect there to be large groups, but of distressing note, there's elven artifacts that have started surfacing since the elves are having trouble. And if the master gets his hands on any of those, he may as well have reached Alfheim, and all the elves will be taken.
Well, the elves were leaving.
Not all the
weren't
elves
they?
left, didn't they?
As in, if he gets an item that is powered by the Tree of Life, he'll have a direct connection to the Tree of Life, and he will wipe out all elves in that instant.
Oh, okay, right.
So it's a win condition for him if he gets anything made from the Elven Tree of Life, which includes some of your arrows.
Yep.
So if he gets his hands on anything made from that, then he can technically use the Soul Forge to pretty much become a god.
On that note, Calcrix lets the group know if it's okay to interrupt at this point.
Yep.
That she's done a Legend Lore check on Soulforge. And she's discovered from the Lore check that the Soulforge can take souls whether they're willing or unwilling. Doesn't matter.
Yodri can attest to that.
It can do it over great distances. It only requires something that belongs to a person. So if he comes across your dropped sword on the battlefield, he can take your soul.
Oh, wow.
How long
That's
does it need to be in
impressive.
your possession?
It just needs to be something that anyone can say is yours.
Yeah, something that you... So if Zal fires one of her arrows and doesn't get it back, and it's left in a dead enemy, and he comes across that arrow, and she identifies that as my set of arrows, he can take Zal's soul.
So basically anything you've written down in your character sheet.
And then he will get all of the knowledge that Zal has.
Is there a way to actually get to this Soul Forge?
So the last couple of things I got, there is a stipulation to him getting these souls, and that is that the gnomish gods are the ones who approve it or not.
That's for the uncorrupted forges.
Oh, the uncorrupted forges. Sorry. Okay,
Yeah,
so
the ones that are currently in the cities.
yeah. So sorry. Less comforting or reassuring, because it's not relevant here.
Well, it's relevant for people to know about that's how the false soul forges are supposed to work. The understanding is that if someone has corrupted an artifact, it may work beyond those capacities.
3 soul forges have gone missing. 1 in the northern reaches, 1 from Glantry, the Three Fires volcano, and 1 in the west. So
Is this in addition to the one the master controls?
yeah.
Well, any of those 3 could be the one the master controls.
Yeah.
Or he could control all 3.
So I'm just thinking, like, we we could try if we know where an elven artifact is, we could try retrieve it to make sure the master doesn't get it, or we could try find one of these soul forges in case it's one that the master's got.
Well, possibly trying to track down
We need to get an orb of destruction.
the other soul forges would be a benefit in the sense of if we have them in our possession, he doesn't. Because can you imagine if he's got all
From my
four?
understanding, they're extremely difficult to move.
Did my legend lord tell where the fourth soul forge was?
There was one in Arendi.
Okay.
There's one in Rockholm. There's one in this floating city currently crashed in the center of Alphatia. They're the known working ones.
And you said one in Alphatia?
Yeah. On the gnomish floating city that's currently crashed.
Are we able to find out which one of the missing ones might be the one controlled by the master? Like, that's got to be fairly significant.
It's a good chance it's one of the other three that were gnomish civilizations.
I'm just wondering.
Oh, so there were 6 altogether.
Six that they talk
a commune
about.
spell or something that might tell us which one to focus on.
Most of those only work if there's written knowledge of those items still around.
This might be something that the expedition that was sent off to discover information about the master might be involved in figuring out. So Calgrits will look to Reduin and say, is that one of their tasks?
Well, it's that their task is to find information. They don't want to send anyone blind into the master's territory without knowledge of where to go and what to do.
Fair enough.
Because they don't sure how long someone will last before it's too late.
Because Anton, like me, were both really concerned that no one's looking for where the missing soul forges are, or establishing where the known soul forges are and making sure that they're safe.
Well, currently where the other 3 known ones are almost impossible to get to.
Okay, that helps.
The one in the Arendi Mountains is basically high up in the mountains above the between the capital of the islands and the pirate cove on the other side. So you would have to defeat a bunch of pirates, defeat the best of the Alphatian navy, trod onto sacred dragon territory because one of their fire academies is there, and tick off one of the communities of goblins who are friendly to the gnomes to actually reach their mountaintop. So there's quite a lot of things against someone being able to do that easily. So
what are the 3 that are missing again?
there's the
Well,
they know the
doable.
settlement as the 3 Fires volcanoes.
Okay.
That one was in the settlement is still in Galantry, but it's a ruins at this stage.
That's the bad thing.
The second one is a ruins in the northern reaches. There is a gnomish settlement there, still full of a lot of their technology, which may include the Soul Forge. And there's the gnomes talk of a lost settlement to the west. They don't seem to know exactly when and where it was lost, just that all knowledge of it has disappeared.
That sounds like the real candidate, doesn't it? We know absolutely nothing about it.
And they have learned that the Master has specifically gone out of his way to destroy all writings about subjects he wants taken off the board.
And the one in Rockholm, is that also protected by a similar...
Well, it's directly above the Dwarven kingdom, above their capital city. So, not the easiest place in the world to get to, and it's considered at the top of their most sacred mountain. So again,
It's not very impressive.
well, the dwarves don't go up there. They say for religious reasons.
Yeah, because there's nothing up there. For their point of view.
Well, they have stories about how their first king went to the top of the mountain to talk to the god.
And then the last one that's in Alphasia, again they have the Alphasian navy there.
Plus, it's also at the heart of their skyship, floating city, which is technically a skyship.
Which is where Samir is.
Samir's not there, no.
I thought Samir was training in the Air Academy.
Yes, but that's not on the floating city.
Oh, okay. Alright.
The floating city is not Halfatian.
Oh, okay. So
There's a group of floating islands known as R.
I see.
AR.
Yeah. Thank you for the
Clarification?
yeah.
Are these soul forges movable in any way, or are they likely still be in the same place that they've always been?
Most likely, he says.
Most likely.
They are generally the heart of the city.
Okay.
All their systems are powered by this one set of machinery. They refer to it as the Great Machine as well.
Okay, this is again showing my ignorance. How big are these things?
They're huge.
As in huge,
He
as
would
in-
expect them to be maybe 1 kilometre in length.
Oh my
That's
god.
what I'm
okay.
saying. They're not. You can't move them.
Well, you'd probably go a mile in length because, well, everything's here in miles.
We're talking about the master though taking a life tree though and physically bringing it with him. I understand life trees aren't small.
Oh, the world tree's not
World
small.
tree, sorry. And so, what's the world tree?
The world tree connects the different worlds of reality.
I meant in terms of size. in
No one knows the
comparison.
size of it because it's supposed to be the block that connects all different realities together.
Okay, yeah. But you know, if he can lift a world tree, I'm not saying the Soul Forge is going to be easy for him, but he had to move it somehow, so he's obviously moved one.
Does he have to move it, or does it have effectively he can operate it at
Yep.
range?
It can
Yes.
operate at
My
great distances.
understanding, the normal ones that are in the cities don't have range.
No, according to my legend lore, they can operate over great distances.
Okay, so he could conceivably operate it without actually being anywhere near it.
Yeah, and potentially if you're a powerful target, he just has to obtain something you own. So he can just provoke, say, all of Redrian's teams into attacks. Just make sure that he either raids their campsite or, you know, he could
Yeah.
even get spies to interact with them. And as long as they get an item of that person, so you really need to be careful of your belongings, of anything that you consider yours, making sure you have it with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so he says to move on to events that are happening. He says Wednesday group has been set on a diplomatic mission to Karamakos. They go.
Wednesday or Tuesday?
Wednesday's group has
Okay.
been sent on a diplomatic mission to Karamakos.
Yep.
You weren't part of that mission.
No, I know. I was just, I couldn't remember. I thought they went to Alphasia, but they went to Karamakos.
Yes, you're jumping ahead of the story.
No, that's okay. Sorry.
Okay.
What, and they're going to give the finger to the Red Baron or what? The Black Baron or what?
No, they're basically going to be jumping on an airship and negotiating with the Alphatian Empire on behalf of Karamakos.
Does that work?
If Karamakos can bring its troops to help in the effort against the Master, it would add more troops on the ground. And what they need is more troops, more than anything else.
Yeah.
And Karamakos can't spare any because while it's currently having a treaty with the Theatan Empire, all its troops must go to the war against Alphatia. So,
Yeah.
Did
So
you-
basically, they're trying to broker a ceasefire thing.
yeah, broken a deal of neutrality.
A neutrality with Alphasia, would that allow them to become free of Sayata?
Well, if they've broken a treaty of neutrality with Alphatia, then they can't send their troops against Alphatia.
Yep.
And I'm sure they'll get something out of it themselves for doing so.
Okay, so one group's going off to negotiate an arrangement between Karamigos and Alphasia. What was the other group doing?
The other group is, well, they haven't gone and done anything yet, but we have agreed with them that they should head off and try to convince any elves in the Elven Forest who want to fight on our behalf to come back, because to be honest, one Elven unit is worth more than 4 of our units.
Okay.
And when you say a 1 to 4 advantage, you can just imagine just how overwhelming some of the Master's forces are compared to ours.
Yeah.
Once the elves pulled out of the field, we pretty much lost our best troops and weren't able to keep the Master back.
Okay.
So they expended 90% of their well-trained troops just giving you time to get out.
I admit I'm no general or anything like this, but it does sound like throwing more troops into the battle's not really going to solve the problem.
It's not, but the numbers will hopefully at least give the Master pause. The more that they can keep bringing in, the less likely the Master's going to attack.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully in that time we're creating enough of a delay that those who are sent west can start to dig into the secrets.
Okay.
And potentially learn locations for strategic strikes.
Okay, so we're playing for time and hoping that the expedition that went west will uncover information we can use.
From Redrune's perspective, the war in Darrakin is an unwinnable war.
Yeah, that's what the impression I had as well.
So getting people here is a deterrent, not a winning strategy. If we don't get people here, we've lost. That's as simple as that. The Master has more troops in his army than all the surrounding nations have combined. Darrakin has more troops than any of the nations around us. So if we go down, there's no one here who can take him on.
Scorched Earth policy won't work, because most of his forces are either undead or automatons.
And if someone comes and tries to do the Scorched Earth policy here, there's a good chance he'll turn it on them. Or make them join his army.
Yeah, scorched earth policies can.
So what do you want us to do, Redrune?
Well, he was going to run through what's happening at the moment and then throw in, while he's doing that, where he thinks you should be able to help out. So while he was talking with the elves, he does say that the elves are currently having a elf versus elf conflict in their forest, as the elves are fighting over how they should move their trees of life, because each clan has a tree of life that powers it.
You're fighting over that?
Well, to put it simply, they are elf-splaining to each other. As
really
pedantic as that sounds, is literally what they're doing.
I really can't understand why, during these desperate times, that these aged peoples are silly enough to fight over such petty things. They should be long-lived enough to understand that their priorities need to be much higher.
Most of those that are alive today have not known the conflicts of their parents. So they grew up in a stable forest home that was nurturing and protective. As dangerous as it is, it was far less danger than their ancestors went through. So pampered princesses would work quite well for most of the elves today. Except for the few who've gone out into the world and experienced life of what it's really like. And it's those few that he has got Tuesday nights trying to reach out and bring back into the war.
Okay.
But they are scared, and most of them believe they know best when it comes to how to save their people. They've lived long enough, of course they know the best way to do it, and that's where most of the arguments occur.
Okay.
It also says that the Fey wild creatures have been cut off, which you guys know about, and that Fey dark creatures are encroaching in the area.
Back
In the Shogun clans, they've got a lot of secret projects happening up on the plateau of metal on metal. But of course, no one really knows what's happening up there because no one's talking and can get there.
This time, Drazzle looks off to the side and says, "Doo, doo, doo, doo."
In the Broken Lands, King Thar is bringing his forces to the edges of Darakan, right near Kurraghlane, which is the northernmost city. As Darakan's moved all its forces from its borders, it's now got an unprotected border between King Thar and his forces.
Okay.
And what is worrying most people is most of the Master's forces are also the same sort of forces that King Thar has. So goblinoids feature greatly in both armies.
Okay. Yep.
So when you're worrying if they will support each other or fight each other, it's hard to tell. One may already be a servant of the other, so we may find ourselves caught between two armies if we're not careful.
Yep.
So that's part of why the troops have withdrawn, because they wouldn't survive a concerted push between the two. The merchant princes of Darakan are asking for volunteers to investigate the orc lands that stand between the Elven Forest, Ethengar, and Rockholm. There are citadels there that are not part of King Thar's forces or the Master's forces, and they may be willing to help out if Darakan recognises their control of those spaces.
So,
Yeah, likely that's going to happen.
Darakan's willing to make that concession if they stand in with the people.
That's also the
And
troll territory, isn't it?
I know that's Orc and Hobgoblin territory.
Where's the troll one?
The Troll territory is the Broken Lands.
Mm.
So you're talking about highly intelligent, highly martial forces who have built citadels in the wilderness there.
okay.
So it's currently just left to them, but they are willing to look at potentially making that an official domain of Darakan with them in charge.
Recognise their de facto sovereignty over the whole thing, yeah.
And make them part of the nation if they're willing to fight for us.
Okay.
Up until now, orcs and hobgoblins have been treated as monsters to be wary of.
So this would be a part of Darakan?
This would be a part of Darakan accepting people that most people reject. Darakan is one of the most accepting nations in the world, but they haven't accepted orcs or hobgoblins.
I don't know that there's a problem with that in the sense of Calprix is kind of in for equality.
They're willing to accept anyone who will fight for them.
Yeah, why? Well, you know, if they're fighting and they're laying down their lives for our lands, why should we not accept them into our lands?
And willing to make them full citizens and full rights of the nation if they will do so.
So, I'm not sure we'd be great diplomats, but is that what you were thinking we should be doing, Edwin?
He says it's something you might be able to do. We do have a diplomatic group on the Tuesday group, but they are currently heading. They have plans heading into the Elven Forest as their first
heading
step.
to Elfheim, and then once they're done with Elfheim, they have to complete a task in the Underdark for the dwarves before they can go to the dwarves to gather support from the dwarves. So that's the two tasks that they're doing at the moment.
And after that, they may head to the Isle of Dread because they've got some unfinished business
Yeah,
down there.
we've got
What?
two
With
other...
the cats? Or they're going to be Pokemon hunting dinosaurs?
No, with Lani the Undying, time walking, no doctorate, but technically as good as a doctor. Pirate? Yeah, pirate. That
Pirate.
would sum her up. Time pirate would work. Yeah. So she's
I thought
got.
you were more interested in the what was it? The Avatar of Beasts or whatever is in that area too.
You do have the Primal Titans down there.
Yeah, that's where we woke up Tuesday group, we woke up the Primal Titans in order to end the Masters' capacity to drain them of power. So that's forced him to seek other sources of power. But now she has a destiny that she has to fulfill, otherwise no one's going to win the war.
Which does bring him to the point that he has been advised through some of his diviners that you have the best chance of getting through to the Primal Titans due to your association with the various outcasts of Alphatia.
Okay. And
each of you who carry one of the relics of that group, or at least the lesser relic, might be able to get the Titans' attention.
okay. And maybe they might actually intervene. Is this what we're hoping?
Or at least calm down enough to let the world continue on and get back to its normal routine, because seasons out of whack does cause problems with the world, and if the world stops growing food, then it doesn't matter if the master loses.
Okay, that sounds like a task we won't be able to do.
He does continue on saying that there's also clockwork automatons are still causing havoc near Selenica.
That's been happening for a while now.
Mm-hmm. Just that no one's been able to pin them down.
Autonomans can be tricky like that.
In Ethengar, it's currently the year of the yak. The Redrian says no one's been able to explain what the year of the yak means to him. They just say a 4-year-old knows.
We have 2 Ethengarians here. I want at least Zal to do a culture or a religious role and tell me what the hell the year of the yak is. Because Calcrix wants to know, damn it.
I have it written down somewhere, but I can't access it properly.
Aww.
Which is why he keeps saying no one will say that. You say a 4-year-old knows this, and then just laugh.
Well, just think of a yak. Yaks are solid and slow and reliable.
She's giving you a very serious, solemn look right now. Find the information.
You'll just have to be patient.
It's been bothering her for weeks now. At
Why don't you
least
try
she laughed.
legend law? That might do it.
He's got to find the information on a out of game basis.
It's
so.
somewhere in my notes ready to be used. I just have to dig it out. But because I broke a lot of things, it's not clickable. Okay, so he says that's what's happening in Ethengar, but he also says the hordes there are gathering for an imminent strike, but no one knows where they're going to strike.
Hordes of
Ethengar.
Ethengar. Is that something our Ethengarian colleagues might be able to deduce? Is it?
I'm sure from their perspective, what happens in Ethengar stays in Ethengar.
Well, let's see. They'll be
Is
dumb
she
enough
on
if
mute?
they're going to attack Galantry.
She's not on mute.
Oh, okay. Just doesn't have comment.
No, I just as Ross said, they're either gonna go to the Lantry, or I vaguely remember that they were going to challenge
The Haldanic Knights.
the Haldanic Knights, in the
So
Holy War.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they were only going to go north because they weren't going to go west because they're sort of...
West has the undead war going at the moment.
No, I should say east. East have got the goblins and that.
And the East has the giants up in the mountains and the trolls in the foothills.
Yeah, but they're not really doing anything other than...
But there's not much to sack there either.
Was it south of the dwarves?
South is Darakin and the dwarves. So
Yeah,
you've got the
they would
broken
be going
Lands.
north.
North is the path of least resistance.
And north
Well,
is Glantry?
North is the Haldanic territories. Where
Oh,
the Haldanics
Haldanic.
are.
Yeah.
Basically, they're doing a holy war, which what we were suspected
Oh, yeah.
when we were last there. They were talking about it.
Just that the stars didn't align, so they didn't go to war. But now they're fully...
the
Oh, I
stars-
do remember.
So, are the stars now right?
Yeah, the stars now seem to be right.
Okay.
And that they've come out of mourning for their lost princess.
That's true.
and now they want
Princess who
vengeance
they
for
shall
that.
not name because it's
Yeah.
because it's now a
Curse
Yep.
word.
curse word.
Yep.
Yes.
She should not be named.
Well, she should have learnt her people's customs better, is what some others say. Okay, so with that, in the 5 shires, the shires are saying that a pirate treasure that has been stolen is in the Black Eagle Barony, and they're looking to reclaim it to bring all the pirates under the one flag.
Sorry, Martin, I'll be back.
Okay.
All good.
That's where we're going.
And in Galantry, the undead lords seem to be escalating their battle in Baldavia, bringing in more powerful undead and necrotic powers into the region. It's now the battle of 5 armies.
Yeah, and then the master comes in and goes, mine.
But apparently he can't he can't take any of them.
What? I thought he had
Why?
Because they're controlled by Fey Lords.
Oh, okay.
Each army has a vampire Fey Lord at the head.
Okay, so does that mean that we really need to get Dracula back involved?
If you get Dracula involved and he starts taking on the Master's forces, then he will take over the world, because most of them have world domination as their sideline.
So you know those 2 green gemstones that
Yeah,
everyone else keeps forgetting about, except for Calcrix?
No, I wanted to destroy them because they're bloody cursed items.
It
Whoever
is-
has them, bad things happen to them.
It is actually a good thing that we have discovered those 2 and kept them, because it prevents any one of those undead 5 armies getting dominance over the rest, which prevents them from settling things very easily amongst themselves and then doing exactly what the master's doing. So
What about the other 3?
having 2 is enough.
One of them's up on top of the
Yeah,
World
that's
Mountain
right.
in Ethengar.
Yeah, which no one can touch anyway.
It's been buried in the top of the very apex of the mountain has the seed buried in it. So it's basically a do you dare come there, because any undead who reaches that spot passes on into the afterlife.
Which mountain was that again?
The World Mountain
Oh,
in
that's right. Yep.
in Ethengar. So it's a gotcha for any undead. Only the living can retrieve it, but it's a place where the dead go to the next life.
So if we create a portal up there and tell Dracula to go and get it.
Yes.
No.
But Dracula's technically doesn't have a soul. He's a Fey Lord. He's not technically undead anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a good thing.
Zal is human Fey.
And Dwarven at the same time.
Yeah. Zal's
Zal's a mutt.
Well, it's kind of true to her favoritism of the canine kind. That she is technically a mutt, but I wouldn't look at the word as being a negative
So
description.
she's actually related to 2 of the Fey Lords.
Oh, who's she related to?
The
again?
Dwarven one as well.
The Dwarven one and the...
And the one from Karamikos.
Is that the elven one?
No.
No, it's the human one.
It's the human one.
Yeah,
yes.
because he's human.
Yes.
That's right. Zal is oh no, Zal and Chevelle are both human. Yeah, okay. Who's
Chevelle is technically Genasi.
yeah, but Genazi's look like human.
But a human Genasi, not a Dwarven Genasi or a Halfling Genasi.
Okay.
So Genasi take on the appearance of whichever race
doesn't
that
get
gives birth
confusing
to
at
them.
all.
But they're basically the true elemental version of Genasi. Okay, so that's what's happening in Galantry. In Arendi, the nation has called upon the people to start finding the ancient relics that were buried because they were deemed too dangerous to let out into the world. Because apparently now's the time when you need weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, well,
Is that the desert place?
No, that's the nation place to the south. That's where all the pirates congregate.
Sorry, which one is it?
Arendi.
Arendi. Yep.
Right,
Okay.
so they're all on a pirate treasure hunt.
Yep, a lot of people are on treasure hunts right now. In Karamikos, they have the Wave Rider on standby, the skyship. Though technically it is an astral skyship, but
You said Karamikos?
in Karamikos, yes.
Karamikos.
That's what Wednesday group are going to go off and use. They should already be there talking to the Duke.
Okay.
Having taken the portal there already today. He spoke to them first. And that should be then taking them off to Alpha-8 here as quickly as possible. But skirting the war on the Isle of Dawn between the two great empires. Don't really want to fly through war territory.
No.
So the Wave Rider is ready to take Wednesday's group from
Karamikos.
back to Alphasia with the signed treaty.
No, to go sign the treaty on behalf of Karamikos.
Or negotiated.
Okay. Yep. All right. Yep.
So the reason the Baron has taken the treasure because all the pirates have gone to the west.
And just to pump up unnecessarily Dimitri's already sizable ego, rather than continuing to write Wednesday, Tuesday, etc. group, I've called Wednesday's group Dimitri's group, and Tuesday's group Drachnima's group, because he's the most consistent attending person.
So Tuesday could be Llewell's group.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll
because
change...
he is the diplomat of that one, whereas Dimitri's the diplomat of Wednesdays.
To even it out and make sure that Rowie can stand being in Jeremy's company, I'll make sure Tuesday group is Llewell's group, and Wednesday can be Dimitri.
Which does make Friday Zal's group.
Yes.
Okay.
Just for M's thing when she gets back and hears it.
No, I have been listening in. Sorry, I'm just trying to order dinner because Josh
is busy.
Josh is apparently in a Met call, so yay.
Yeah, he'll be buggered when he gets back.
Yeah, so things don't seem to be going well for his on call at the moment, which is.
What does Met mean?
It's a medical emergency.
Probably better to talk about after game.
Yeah, no, I was just.
All good.
Sorry.
So yes, so that's what's happening in with Karamikos. In Minrothad, the guilds are currently squabbling now that the best of their membership have joined the expedition fleet to find out what the master's doing. So he's not sure we'll get anything out of the guilds for a long time now.
What are their guilds all?
Crafts, trade, stupidity.
Yeah.
Merchants and that. I'm sort of part of the.
Oh, okay, so
guild.
they're kind of merchants and
No,
traders.
it depends
and
on
things.
what it is.
They are the best merchant sailors in the world,
Yeah.
and they will definitely run gnomes for their money. Except gnomes are the best flying merchants. Whereas Durakan are the best land merchants.
So they're infighting at the moment.
Because the best of their group have taken to sea to try to help find out about the master.
So the infighting is due to the leadership vacuum.
Not the vacuum, the absence of calmer minds. So those with the skill to negotiate between the guilds are the ones who have left. And those who are eager for advancement in the absence are the ones who are left behind. So that's basically a pot bubbling over because it's got no one watching the fire.
The assassin skills are probably going. And then all of a sudden it becomes the Knight of Blades.
It says, and in the Northern Reaches, the three kingdoms there are at table talks for the first time in the history of the three kingdoms.
They're usually daggers drawn, aren't they?
For the rest of the world's perspective, they've been happily fighting each other instead of fighting anyone else.
Okay. They're now actually negotiating. Well, that's one thing positive going on in the world.
It's a very positive thing for
Yes and
them, very negative thing for all the neighbouring nations.
Because it means they might be considering who to go to war with.
Too many wars in this world.
The wars are heating up, and they're getting worse. With that in mind, Norworld itself...
Calrix wants to overtake the world herself just so that she can reign in peace.
So the comment he has for Norworld is the lands of ice and snow are heating up. Just to help with that thought.
Fire giants?
He's got no other information from his agent in the north.
Okay, yeah, right.
He does think that some of them have a sense of humour, but... well, you can't really help some of these halflings. In Rockholm, the dwarves have gone to war with giants in the mountains. So,
which ones?
fire giants.
Is that the ones that... no, they were hill giants that were...
Yeah. You negotiated with the hill giants, who have now made a treaty with Karamikos. So Karamikos has taken their area that they've taken control of and said they will include them as part of their kingdom if they will protect their border.
Yep. And also the goblins to the south?
The goblins to the south of them, no, they have not included them in their kingdom.
Did you say the dwarves?
So basically the goblins in the south will have to move to the north.
Yeah. So
Sorry, you guys are going ahead of my capacity to write, and I was just trying to catch up. What you're just talking about now, who was at war with whom? Was it the dwarves with the
fire giants.
fire giants?
Yeah.
Sorry, please, sorry, I didn't...
It's all good. Most of this will be available on the season
Seasons notes page.
So if I click on this thing and bring
It
it
just
up to
does help me to
show
write
you.
down as much as I can, because of course...
So that is Phase
Digital
3,
list.
Season 2, and it has everything
Can you
I'm
show
going
how we
for.
get that from the very beginning? Because I'm a bit dumb
Okay.
when it comes to
So
like
you
Same
see
here.
that you can got a... So I'll go to the index page.
Yeah,
So this is you getting onto the site.
yeah,
You go to Reference,
yeah.
go to Campaigns,
Reference campaign.
then click on Friday,
Right, okay,
and click on P3,
yeah.
and then click on P3S2.
Okay, alright. So this is where we can get all this, because there's a lot to take in.
It is. That's why I showed that one to people 4 weeks ago, but I'll show it to you again if you ever need it. It even send you a link to it.
What started it?
What started the war? The giants congregating in numbers.
They got
I know
intelligence?
I know they were congregating.
It was the... It is the Dwarven Kingdom, and they've pretty much invaded the Dwarven Kingdom with numbers.
So from the perspective of when we were talking to the hill giants, they woke up because the dragons stopped keeping them asleep, and they found that their ancestral lands were being invaded by humans. So
Or
that's
other
why
races.
they started
Yeah.
warring there. So I'm guessing the same thing happened with the fire giants, except because the giants have been asleep for like thousands of years, it could be a case of land that the dwarves consider theirs because they've had it for a few thousand years. The giants actually consider theirs because they've had it many more thousands of years, and they haven't had the update,
So-
and they don't agree with it.
If we
Would
can
that be
stop
right?
that, and if
They are also racial enemies.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the chance of getting the dwarves and the giants to put down their weapons.
No,
and
put down.
talk.
Just stop fighting and actually concentrate on the big bad that happens to be the master.
Getting that to happen would be a rarity. The issue you have there is the borders are closed. You don't have a token of entry. If you enter their nation without a token of entry, you will be killed on sight.
That's the dwarves.
That's the dwarves.
Yeah.
And the only people who have a token of entry is Llewell's group, and that's only if they do the task the king asked of them, or they can't enter the king's
Which is
kingdom.
why we've got to go to the Underdark and solve that problem first. But the reason that's been delayed was because we had to go to Orendi and solve a different problem before we could solve the problem with the Underdark.
No,
But
you're
the
going to
Dwarven-
Elfheim, not Orendi.
Elfheim,
Yeah.
sorry. No. So when we made the
yes, that
original
one, yeah.
discussion with the Dwarf King Everlast, and we said, we've been sent to you because you need help. What do you need help with? He said, I need help with discussion, talking, breaking down between the Underdark and ourselves. That stopped trade, that stopped lots of other things like food and also economic and all those other things. However, we're aware also that the Erendi are having the same problem between the deep sea and the surface as well. You should solve that problem first before you can solve our problem, which is the same problem just between us and the Underdark. And so we said, yes, we will solve your problem, but we will go to Erendi and solve that problem first. And then in the meantime, we've been drawn into the battle with the Master, as well as having to, when we were solving the problems between the Erendi and that, we got tied into waking up the primordials by Ka, the god Ka. So now we're just circling back round. So before we can go back to the dwarves, we're now being told we have to go to the elves first, because that's the highest priority, because one elf is worth 4 humans. And then once we do that, then we need to solve the Underdark problem before we can go to the dwarves and say, yes, we took a while, we have good reasons, but we have solved your problem. Can you please now send people to help us fight our war?
Can we go back to the Primal Lords? That seemed to be the one that had most chance of success. I would have
he'll get to that in a moment.
Yep.
He just thought he would give you the bad news first.
There's just so much bad news.
Yeah, we also need to find out where the storm giants are.
He says, in Yalarum, they're having relics surfacing all over the desert. A lot of witchcraft in there, which means that he does point out to you that every wish you make in this world is granted only by devils and demons. They're the only things capable of granting a wish. So if you are lucky, you get it from a demon. If you're unlucky, you get it from a devil. The main difference between the two is a demon will punish you at the time of the wish. A devil will punish you sometime down the track.
Is this a good time to mention obligation now that I've had some food and...
I should probably finish where I'm going before you get to
So
that.
does that
fine.
mean
Happy to
they've
wait.
actually found the land?
There are more than one lamp.
Okay, so has that started a civil war then?
It has not, because getting one and keeping it long enough to make a wish, or surviving the wish, is a big thing. Because the wishes are not all-encompassing. They are designed to punish the requester more than change the world.
That's because I'm reckoning that all those wishes were selfish.
So it's kind of like saying "God damn" or "Oh my God."
Did
Both
you just
phrases.
say that in character?
No, as a player. You risk drawing the attention of the god if you do it, and if you say "Oh, I wish," has the same sorts of consequences. You might end up with either an item that will grant a wish that you're not really aware of will grant a wish at the time, or a devil or a demon may turn up and offer to grant you a wish. So as Calcrix, she mentions there are certain things that you don't want to say, like the WISH word or the GOD phrases, without being aware that they carry certain consequences. I would suggest, and this is a foreign phrase that nobody will understand the meaning of, but maybe Dank Ferric would be a suitable replacement. And for those at the table who have no idea, it's a Star Wars reference Mandalorians make.
Yeah. And then you find out that there happens to be a god called that.
Okay, so continuing on, Wendar itself is having a undead problem at the moment, as what the southern side of Wendar is right up against where the vampire lords are fighting. On the north side of Wendar is being overrun by hordes from a place called Denagath. And the reason they're being overrun is their relic that was protecting them, a green gemstone seed, was stolen. But if it was there, the
This was
battle
brought up.
would have moved north, and they would have been assaulted from the north and the south, and then that would have become one army, and that would have then marched.
So this is where Calcrix found out, because she's like, oh, Wendar have lost their seed. We didn't technically steal it. You know, we came across it in trying to... basically, it was
hidden in a barrel.
It was a god playing a trick on another god, basically. So, not our fault. But returning it will not help them. It'll make the situation worse. And that's
why I stated we need to destroy the damn things, because they're cursed.
Destroying them would be bad.
They are artifacts, and which means that they have one means of destruction which no one knows.
It's called throw it in the Soul Forge.
That doesn't necessarily destroy it.
No, but it might destroy the Soul Forge.
So it was the undead on the south and who on the...
Undead on the north.
Oh, okay.
So undead but either side of Wendar. They have called upon the Haldanic Knights for aid, which is unusual for a high elf community calling on humans. They are adjacent.
Okay.
So the Wendar is to the west of the Haldanic Knights, which means they're to the northwest of Ethengar.
So they're at the west of Galantry.
They are north of Galantry.
North.
The northern borders of Galantry is a mountain range. On the other side of that mountain range is Wendar. They literally share the mountain range as a border.
Okay.
Cool. That's... Yeah, I remember why it sucked to be there, because it's basically mountains everywhere.
Yes.
Is that the one where we saw Baba Yaga?
Yes, it was where Baba Yaga's hut is.
Or
as it is, Baba Yaga's mini mountain.
That's
actually
not Wendar,
what's that
though.
doing?
That's...
It's had its power core ripped out by one of the groups, which is buried on top of the World Mountain right now.
Oh, so that's where another green seed
That
came
was
from?
where the one on top of the World Mountain came from.
Sort of makes sense.
So Baba Yaga is very upset right now.
I don't want to know how they managed to do that. I can only imagine
They got lucky.
got something to do... Yeah.
They did go left at Albuquerque.
Okay.
They often do. I've heard them play. They not only go left at Albuquerque, they go straight down.
So the Worm's Teeth Mountain, the dragons there are currently in council over the imminent return of the greater god of chaos, who they refer to as Tekisis or Tiamat, depending on who you talk to.
Let's go there.
No. Calcrix just says a flat no.
Yeah, not.
The giants are asking for people to help them deal with their wayward clans who aren't coming home, especially considering a big chunk of them have joined the Master.
What's
That
this
might
one?
be something we could do.
Is this the Hill Giants?
All the giant clans.
That might be something we can do.
So there are
How the
various...
hell do we get in touch with the Fire Giants? Because we
No,
can't due to the
look,
fact
no,
that the
no,
dwarves closed borders.
We've actually got a connection with the hill giants. So this is all giants that are asking for this help. And us having a connection with the hill giants as
but the Hill Giants are
Anton's
currently
saying
neutral anyway.
It is possible we could possibly do that, but I already know that there's 3 other jobs that Redrian wants Friday to do.
Yeah, but the other thing is, if it's what they stated, those Hill Giants be incredibly stupid because they need to be with the other Hill Giants to gain their intelligence.
Well, it seems like it's not just hill giants, it's all the different elements of giants. And therefore all of the different elements of giants are asking as a group for help getting all of their young back. Because even though they're incredibly stupid, they're still capable of
We don't know that with the
destruction.
Fire Giants.
The ones that are stupid are said to be the hill giants. The more powerful the giants get, the smarter they get.
Okay, so it could be that.
With the storm giants said to be the smartest of all giants.
Yeah, which we also really need to find out where the hell they are.
Yeah, we are trying to do. And you said something about, in relation to the storm giants earlier, something to do with witchcraft? Or was that something else entirely?
I think it was something else entirely.
Okay, there's a lot of subjects covered. Alright. I was going to say, Martin, if you just want airflow, we can just put that on fan.
That is on quiet at the moment.
Yeah,
It's also I was also hot.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's why I said if. Yeah.
So if you want to do about witchcraft, it means that you have to go to Galantry.
No.
We can't go to Galantry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
Because that's death sentence for
It is.
everybody except for... No, I think you are now part of that group because you're aware of what's going on.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's getting confusing. Let's move on to the next thing.
And
because
the last thing he has
really like
is that he's gotten news that there through Drazzle that there is some information that needs to be retrieved from Blackmore from Drazzle's Inn.
Drazzle, do you want us to do that now?
He says not this group.
No,
Okay.
no, it's because if I do get a chance, I will kill Blackmore.
not this group.
Well, try
and
to.
It's not one of the other groups. Because I wrote it
It's
down.
not Tuesday's group.
Yeah, so
It'll be a group that doesn't have a halfling in it.
It'll have to be Wednesday's group. So yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be a group that doesn't have a halfling in it.
What they need that is missing is in Blackmore to fix the Gnomish
It's the secret
city.
door.
Well,
Yeah.
while they're there, they can get the pirate's treasure that's been pinched.
And so basically, what he's thinking with the primordial gods is that using your connections with the elemental cults, if you can get access to the cult sponsor, the sponsor has enough influence to get the attention of the primordial titans.
Okay.
And
So that means dealing with each of the four cults separately.
and the Dark Lady.
And Dark Lady, okay. Yep.
Each of them has the power to get the attention of one of the titans.
Okay.
So, who's the so-called sponsor for the Dark Lady?
I am the connection to the Dark Lady. You'll be the connection to a water one.
Yeah,
With
I'm
the
also
Earth.
sort of affiliated with the Dark Lady as well.
Yes,
Each of
but
you
in a
are
different way.
affiliated to the Dark Lady because she's technically the one at the top, just that Calcrix is the one working with her.
Yeah, and I've got a sneaking suspicion I'm actually sort of the underling of one of her underlings.
Well, the Dark Lady is not a god.
Hey, it could be the Lady of the Below may not actually be a god. I just state that the gods are crazy. All I know, it's a powerful being.
Just don't try to give them a shrubbery.
Okay,
So-
is that what we're going to do?
Okay, we are now
Yeah,
taking up gardening
so-
and making
Just
some
to
strawberries.
clarify a point, on Tuesday, Redrune said Friday's group would be best suited to go to the Northern Reaches in Ethengar. And on Wednesday, he said that Friday group would be the best people positioned to deal with the primordials. So, considering those three mentions, I'm gathering, in terms of priority, the primordial task is the top of the three.
Which requires you to go to Northern Reaches in Ethengar.
Okay, so
He
that,
didn't give. He hasn't given each of the groups the reasons behind
No.
every other travels.
Yeah.
Okay.
So knowing where they've gone is enough. Knowing specifically why they're gone is not important.
Yes, but as I'm
Yeah,
writing...
Okay, so we settled on Ethengaria, and that's to
That means we're gonna
recap.
run
There's so
into
much
hell.
information here.
Mm.
Ethengaria, the
Year of the Yak, and about to go to war with the Hellenic Knights, most likely.
Yeah, so we're going into a war zone.
there's some wars everywhere.
And then there's
I
also
don't
the
think you can
Northern
avoid that.
Reaches. So, Is it Ethengar we need
No,
to go
it was
to
the
first?
issue. It was the problem we had to deal
Okay,
with.
so with that map there, you can see Ethengar's at the top here. There's this big area here.
Yeah,
You're down in this little area down here. The issue you have is you have to go through the broken lands or the areas here where the little hobgoblin and orc warlords are to get into Ethengar, because that has to be done by manual means.
Okay, well,
You are looking at about a month to 2 months travel.
okay. So what are you saying?
You have 8 months before the master will be in a position to overwhelm them.
Okay, what are you saying, Redry? You're saying that we're not going to get it done in time, and we need to do something else. I was just thinking we could do several things if they're all on the road.
You can also use his portal network to go straight to the Northern Reaches,
That's what I was thinking.
which can get you there today.
Yeah.
Whereas if you head to Ethengar, you won't reach the Northern Reaches for 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right, Northern Reaches then. That's not Ethengar.
But,
I'm confusing the two.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
don't
okay.
we need to then go east across?
Well, he has in Norvik,
Yeah.
in
Yeah, that's where we have to go,
Zeeburg, and in Sodderford he has inns with part of his portal network.
Okay.
So you can literally travel to all three, though the cults that you want to speak to are all in Vestland. So you could technically jump to Norvik and seek them out there.
Okay, is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, so can I just... So the best route to deal with getting access to the primordials is to first travel via Knights River Inn to the Northern Reaches, and there was a city there, was there?
Which is Norvik.
Norvik. And there we can reach, you said,
The four cults.
Four
Elemental cults.
Yeah. So Norvik. And are those 4 cults all in Norvik, or are they different places?
They're in the nation of Vestland.
Norvik, where the 4 cults, well, 4 of the 5
Well, the 5th one is the overarching one.
overarching one cults are in Vestland, and so they're all in Vestland but in different parts of Vestland. Okay, cool. And then once we get in touch with those, do we have to actually touch base in Ethengar at all?
You can potentially touch base with Ethengar if you have access to... He might be able to divert the skyship at some point towards you, depending on when they get back. It's a 10-day journey by that ship from
No, it's just that
to...
the last time I was in a skyship in Ethengar, it crashed.
Yes.
Is that due to your intervention, or just it crash?
I became sober.
So due to your intervention.
He does not recommend stealing it.
Right. So while we're in Vestland, he will see what he can do about the timing of things in terms of trying to get us access to an airship.
Because if he can get you access to it, you could be in and out of Ethengar in days instead of months.
Okay.
And be able to track down where the Ethengarian Horde is and what they're doing. You might not even need to visit with them. It's generally obvious when a horde's moving which way it's going.
Yeah. So what's the task in Ethengar? Just
was to try to see if you can get some of the forces of Ethengar to assist.
Okay, so if we can determine where the horde is and we can get to the horde, we might be able to directly go, hi, before you go throw yourselves at this war, we'd like to convince you to throw yourselves at our war.
Or at least lend
some of you.
Lend some of the unnecessary troops.
Yeah, you've got so many and we have so few. And I've got big, adorable blue eyes, and I'm a dragon. So I'm cool, right? And I have coffee, have some cookies. You are now obligated to my Fey wild creature, so come fight with us. No, joking.
And while you're in the Northern Reaches, you could do a similar thing if you can get yourselves into whatever council they're having.
Okay, alright. So, yeah, you're right. Head to Northern Reaches. I just wanted to write it down so that in 2 weeks, if we forget what we're doing, we've got a reference of the exact...
So we just want to get the...
At the cults, you can try to get through to the leadership to give you audience with their sponsor.
Yeah.
And then we just trying to get the primals or whatever to settle down.
And their sponsor has the ability to get you in contact with the primals in a way the primals will answer you.
Yeah, but the problem is the one that's watching me, I don't really want to deal with.
Yes, but the thing is you can deal with it as someone he wants to talk to or someone he wants to consume. Which would you prefer?
The first one, thanks.
At the moment, it's the second one.
Great. Okay, in that case, I will have to go north then.
He says, unfortunately, he has no control or ability to influence them because merchants have no sway with them. They don't respect money or diplomacy. They respect those that created them.
And that would be...
The sponsors of the different elemental gods.
The sponsors themselves. Do we know anything about these sponsors?
They are the elemental lords.
We don't know anything more than the fact that they're elemental lords?
They keep to themselves mainly.
Okay.
Which is why getting their attention requires one of their avatars of this world.
Okay, and in terms of... so we go to Vestland and we go to the Earth cult, called the Black Earth. Are they most likely to go, well, Anton, what the heck have you done to earn your place in the Earth cult that we would even want to consider giving you access to our sponsor?
Well, you've got that tome that you need to read, and I've got that water tome I need to read.
Yeah.
They may set a series of tasks for you.
That's
Okay.
what I expect.
Right. So we...
I have been reading the Tome of the Earth Lord.
We need to make sure that we're ready to do whatever the tasks are.
We also,
And-
I think, need to know the Primal Lord will be interacting with as well, because
Yeah.
I expect that they will. Yeah, it won't be easy to persuade them.
So we do have a list of the primals and what their elements are, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
So we want to review
I'll,
that.
I wrote that down.
Mia's working out, so I'll
Yep.
be back. I don't know when I'll be back, but sure.
Okay, well,
Yep.
good luck with settling her.
You'll Terminator, and hopefully you'll come back just in time to save our asses.
Yeah, probably.
Calcrix comments that this smacks very much of her trip to Yalarum, which ended up with visiting 4 out of the 5 cults.
3 out of the 4.
Oh, 3 out of the 4 cults. Hopefully this one does not end in the same way, because the
Alright,
world
we don't
depends
have
on it.
the avatar of the shadow or whatever, having half the party members decide to attack it.
Yeah, so I'd highly advise not attacking anyone out of this thing before we determine that they want to kill us first. And even then...
No, even then, if it's an avatar, we're not going to bloody well attack it anyway,
Yeah, no,
because
we-
we'll just go...
Honour and respect the whatever the avatar is representing. Would be good.
Well, that's where you've learnt from your readings that each of the cult is literally run by an avatar connected to the elemental gods.
Cool. So, in that case, they probably would want these tomes returned.
I can't remember the exact
Where did we
phrasing.
get these tomes from?
They were collected by Tuesday's group.
Yeah, but where did they get them from?
They're not exactly sure because they stole them
Yeah, I just hope it's
from
not...
Galantry.
Okay, that's fine. If it was from here, I'm going to go, yeah, we've just got these books that have just been stolen from you.
I just had I don't remember the exact phrasing or who it comes from, but I was just writing my notes up on Ethengar so that we don't forget it, because obviously we'll be doing all of these tasks and things. But that speech that goes, friends, fellows, countrymen, lend us your hordes instead of ears.
That won't really work with them, because
No.
lend your horses.
I just meant it was an amusing
Antidote.
way that I wrote this, where it says where we can try to convince them to lend us their hordes.
Yeah, if
like,
a certain princess didn't go insane, it would have probably been very useful.
It would have been a lot easier.
but Zal and Cheval probably still hold a lot of sway from their time.
Cheval does, Zal no. Remember, Zal's the black sheep.
Oh,
Zal-
yeah, Zal. So it's
Zal's the
Cheval.
outcast.
Though Chauvel is a disgraced paladin in the eyes of most of the
Oh, that's
Ethengar.
because,
Does
because it was the Cheval.
Calrix still hold sway then, or
Not as much, no.
no? Okay, so
Because
yeah,
you were never really part of the Great Khan's court.
she did stop. Oh no, that won't count. She succeeded at protecting the princess from an avatar of the dark.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's still a black against your name anyway.
Yeah,
Anything
all of So we're kind of screwed. What we'll do is we'll send in the fairy dragon and the black knight. That's my plan.
Black Knight be probably
Both
all
of
right.
them don't have names.
No, the Black Knight
Ethengars.
probably be alright, but the Fairy Dragon, as soon as does any fire magic.
Well, the fairy dragon does not have to do fire magic. She can do lots of things.
I got a sneaking suspicion she was going to do fire of some sort.
But not if we convince her to do other magic. I'm sure if we ask
Lightning
really
bolt!
nicely.
Just as bad.
Anyway, okay, so let's head over to the portal and head over to Norvik.
I'll just see if I can get up a picture of it.
Which is the ones that are having issues with trolls?
The ones that are having issues with trolls was the water temple.
Yeah. I was afraid of that.
Water temple?
Yeah, because I remember how we killed some trolls and we got the trolls upset. I'm just wondering how
Who
well that
killed
went.
the troll? Was it us?
Some of us.
Some of us, okay. Was it
The-
some of us, not Calcrix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, somebody decided to wander off. They got attention with trolls, and then they
So when you say
ended up drawing the entire rest of the group into it.
when you say someone, are you going to force me to look up the session, or are you going to just tell me who?
I can't remember who actually.
Okay.
Actually, no. I think it
Could
was,
have been Calcrix.
No,
to be
I think
honest.
it was Cheval because
Yeah.
we always blame the paladin for it.
Yeah, well, she's not here, so we can.
Well, I believe you decided to beat up the children of the trollish king.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but the thing is, at the time we didn't know that it was actually the king's kids.
Okay, I'm not going to ask because we need to go to Norvik.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if how they actually withstood the storm of trolls.
I believe they ran.
No, we ran. But I think it's not going to stop the king from going to the town.
Okay, how do we get to Norvik?
Okay, so you take the portal underneath the Knight's River Inn.
I join the line and save a place while everyone gets whatever they need, because I already know from Tuesday's group that we would be getting in line for a portal today.
At this time, it would be good for you to tell them about
Winter
the
gear.
other bit as I
So,
duck to the
while
bathroom.
we're sitting in line, I can reassure you that there is no... You'll notice, firstly, Eat has the cookie bag back. So be reassured. I was able to garner a rare privilege and get an audience with the Lady of Shadows. and having she makes a not too subtle but not too pointed point. Calcrick says, having rendered the appropriate dragon etiquette, as the Lady of Shadows is indeed a dragon in her real form, we proffered appropriate respect with bowing and gifts. And once these were received with received positively, she reassured me that the obligation that you guys have all entered into by accepting cookies from Eep is in fact to not join. Do you guys know there's a god called Agzantiotl? He's a god of great.
Sounds like a reptile.
He's a god of entropy, like the Lady of Shadows, but he is what you and I would consider evil. So your obligation is that you cannot accept or serve the evil god. That's it. You cannot be enslaved or forced to serve him in any manner.
So your little green leaf thingy is actually a worshipper of Earth.
Eep was a gift from the Queen of Darkness, who is at the top tier rung of the elementals of entropy. The Lady of Shadows, your what's the word? Where your patron is a servant of the Queen of Darkness. Eep is also a servant of both the Lady of Shadows and the Queen of Darkness. And as the Lady of Shadows is opposed to Agzantiotl and Agzantiotl's ego and evils.
Cool. Can I have some more biscuits?
Yes. Eep's already holding out a cookie. You can safely accept cookies from Eep without any fear of obligations beyond you cannot work for evil.
So unless you Agzantiotl can't take your soul through the soul forge.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I'm wanting more biscuits.
Yes.
Now, can you work out a way of doing it for the master?
And it is through Agzantiotl that the master is taking souls.
Yeah. So this protects you from the master.
Okay, so if the master becomes a god, does that mean that he's going to try to take on?
He will have taken all the elven souls to become a god.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, does that, and then that will want? Then he'll probably end up trying to take on the chaos god.
No idea, because if he becomes a god, then he's got a whole new set of requirements he must fulfill. He has to go through his internship as a god before he can do his own thing.
That's right, they're under the strict rules.
They are, which is partly why the war's happening. Because two of the gods are not bound by the rules the other gods have to follow.
Which ones are those ones?
The ones that protect Galantry. Which is why Ixion has declared that Galantry must be destroyed. If the followers of a god disappear, the god loses its power.
Couldn't they just go, yeah, we'll just ignore those godlings?
Well, he was going to wipe the god from existence, but he was denied by the T-Rex god.
Carl.
Yes.
Yep. So
that was in the backstory.
Repeat that slightly slower so my brain can actually sink in and retain that to some degree.
The reason for the war is Ixion wants to remove the gods who are not bound by the rules of the gods.
Okay, and that would include Ka.
Ka has stopped him.
Right.
Because Ka believes in preserving unique things.
Yep, okay, cool. Yep.
So it's against Ka's belief to do so.
Yeah, but wouldn't the master end up becoming one of those gods as well?
No, the master is following the normal process of becoming a god.
So how did the other two become gods?
They're not allowed to tell anyone.
Okay, so they found a loophole in the system.
There are many loopholes in the system, but there is the loophole to get into the sphere of energy.
So many gnomes died for the retrieving of this information.
Probably, yeah. Just to get back to the subject.
Mm-hmm.
We will approach a representative of each cult, and it's the sponsor who is an elemental lord.
Yes.
Right, cool. Making sure I wrote it down.
I kind of suggest we start with the Dark Lady.
Would the Dark Lady be our last stop?
Most likely your last stop,
Yeah.
because you don't want to talk to her more than once.
Yeah.
Partly because last time you spoke to her, you didn't follow draconic guidelines for meeting an elder dragon.
I suggest, since you've
We're trying to be
started reading the
We
tome,
tried to be respectful.
Oh, she let you all live because you were working with Calcrix. If you hadn't been with Calcrix, the entire team would have been part of her pavement.
Okay.
I might have persuaded not to.
Well, you could have been one of her statuary then.
I would suggest, since you've started reading the tome of the Black Earth,
Yeah, the Earth Lord.
yep, that it might be a good place to start there, because at least you've got some grounding to approach Black Earth. And have you started reading your tome?
Yeah.
Yep. So either Earth or Water would be a good start. Let's go to Norvik and get ourselves to Vestland and see who we bump into first.
Okay, that's put as plain as I've heard.
So, finding yourself in Vestland, the place is rowdier than the last time you were there.
How so?
There seems to be much celebration in the city.
In Norvik or Vestland?
In Norvik itself, because
Okay.
that's
Well,
where
that's a Plasters thing.
it is the
Year of
first
the
day.
Yak.
Is the first day of the 4th month of the year, but that's not a special day there, as far as you know. They seem to be celebrating many things.
Okay, we'll just ask somebody. Everyone's having a ball. What's it all about?
They are celebrating an end to the ongoing hostilities.
Ongoing hostilities with whom?
Usland and the Sutterford Yaldens.
Well, I finally got.
Osland and
The Sutterford Yaldens.
Sodderford Yalden.
Because weren't they all.
Sodderford Yalden. Yeah, because we've travelled all through that area
Yeah,
when we
they're
were
all
originally
Yalden.
researching the cults.
You travelled through Vestland. You didn't actually travel through Ostland or the Sutterford Yaldens.
Okay.
When you got the Devastation Orb, that was where you've got it in Castellian.
Okay.
And that was the only time the group ventured into that region of any of the groups.
It's just that area, the map looked very familiar with me, but the red lines aren't as obvious to me, so...
So this area was the one where you spent most of your time.
Yeah, okay. So I just kind of saw them all together and didn't see the red lines
So
as
the
easy.
three nations there are known as the Northern Reaches.
Okay, and they're now no longer
So
at
how
war.
do they unify?
They are unified over a common enemy.
Which is?
The Alphatian and Thiatan navies.
Weren't they destroyed? Or this is the
They have
the sea fleet.
have a sea fleet.
Okay. Well, I'm really pleased that you're now at peace, because there's a hell of a lot of war going on around the world.
Oh, that they say they're not at peace.
Oh,
No, it's a truce.
That they are gearing up to take on all enemies and all comers. Anyone who challenges them shall be faced head on.
okay. Well, and they'll be in dire strife
Well,
if they do
boy,
take
do
you
we
on.
have an enemy for you to face.
They pull out their weapons and say, "Is that a challenge?"
No!
But the problem is for them to get there, because they have to go
And-
through.
As Calcrick says, no, Eep holds out a cookie.
Well, they happily take cookies.
Actually,
Yep.
how many people can go through that portal?
Only servants of Redrian's investigation bureau.
Okay, how many people can he do that? Can you?
He will only take people who actively work in his teams. Only his scouts can go through.
So no mass armies can go through that portal.
It has been designed to stop mass army movement.
Because if it gets taken over, that would not be a good story.
You can literally take over the world if it was available for anyone else. And because of its limitations, no one else has even tried using it.
Okay.
There's quite a gathering here. Are there any supporters of elemental groups here?
Give you a perception roll.
I would suggest if you are part of a cult, it'd be a good idea to do that too. It's not too bad. I think perception for me is plus
8.
8. Somewhere between 8 and 10. I'm just stealing 3 tokens because I do get them. I'm not planning to be in combat, but just in case I roll poorly and end up in a tavern brawl. I've got something here. So I got a 14, and if the lowest on plus is 8, then that makes it 22.
How did Yodrigo?
What was this for?
This is your perception.
Perception. Oh, cool.
Okay.
1 off for doing a reroll. I got a 12. If I rolled a 1, I could re-roll it.
Obviously, all the alcohol here is of great interest.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
As it's free beer.
Free? Okay, see ya.
Calcrix will try and grasp him by the collar, offer him a cup of coffee with a splash of
in other words, you're offering me coffee liqueur
in it. It's going to be less alcohol, less inebriating than free beer.
Yeah, but that's going to be completely opposite. I'm going to go like a chipmunk.
Maybe. It's not that strong in coffee.
And how did Anton go?
Okay.
I was going to say, is that a 12 even with your...
I rolled a 2. That's why I was saying, if I rolled a 1, I could have re-rolled it.
You could, there are table re-rolls, so if you
it's interesting.
Yeah. No, that's okay then.
I got to 28.
You got to 28? Okay, so...
Because I was planning on being distracted because they said celebration, and I picked up going, ooh.
So their fleet defeated the Alphatian and the...
No, they haven't defeated them.
They
are planning to fight them.
Oh, okay.
Because sinking the more of non-Norse soldiers that they can equals fame and honor in their afterlife.
So they're celebrating the start of a war.
They're celebrating the ending of hostilities between their three nations, so that they can then go to war.
Basically, they're going to try to board them.
I got confused by
while the Alphatians
one of the
are going to shoot
made.
them from a distance.
So they're celebrating the end of hostility
amongst themselves.
There's no guarantee that the Alphatians or the Theatans will see them coming.
Yeah, so basically they have to be doing either morning or night raids. They can't do it in the day unless it's fog.
And they may also just hit them while they're in the middle of their own war.
True. So in that case, they really need to also have the elements on their side as well.
If they are busy in the area, Alphatia can't just sail around the island. So if they put down their weapons, then Alphatia could potentially just overwhelm the Theatan fleet by sheer numbers alone. It's the equivalent of having Germany standing up against Russia. Russia can overwhelm it with numbers, no matter how well Germany can fight.
So they want to attack the Alphatian and Theatan fleets.
Yep.
Okay. I am glad.
How far away is the
Isle of Dawn? Not very far at all. It's very close to the Ostland area.
So does Ostland do regular ratings to that?
It does. It's part of its national sport.
So I guess our spiel here would be, instead of fighting those, got a better target for you. Anyway, 28 sees...
Okay, so first I was doing with Yodri.
Yodri?
Yeah, I tried to do it in Lois first.
Okay, sorry. Apologies.
Yes. Unless, of course, you want to take over.
No. And you say that sometimes, but my brain is just trying to get us back on track.
All good. So, yes, Yodri is seeing much people celebrating with breaking open what appears to be old kegs of beer that have been reserved for special days. All with symbology of Odin, Thor, Freya, Frey.
So, in other words, they're drinking blessed beer.
Pretty much, yes. But beer that has considered special properties.
Cool.
What kind of special properties would it have?
Courage,
Drink it and we'll find out.
wisdom,
Okay.
special visions, that sort of stuff.
You can have one, but we need you in your good frame of mind.
Yeah, but you do realise one for the
One halfling
no.
size.
No, you said one, so I'm having one.
One halfling size. If I see you drink more,
They don't have halfling size pints.
you will be held at they will do.
Oh, well.
So one keg for Yodri.
One halfling sized serve.
Let me guess, I'll probably have to make a con save.
Okay, so does Yodri seek any particular Scots beverage?
Wisdom?
Actually, I'll probably, if we're going for wisdom, that's Odin, but Odin's also for the sea as well.
Yeah. So that would suit you
there
as well.
are beverages from over 100 gods. Yeah.
Oh.
Because not just the main.
I'm going to end
gods
up
have
throwing up
opened.
because that means I have to drink 100.
Have you ever heard of the term moderation? I will teach to you what moderation means.
Does Yodri have a particular god in mind?
I was basically going for wisdom and the sea. Which I think that's basically Odin, isn't it?
Proteus is the god of the sea.
Proteus as well. But if I'm going for wisdom as well.
Odin is not necessarily known for the sea. Odin is known for the
for-
sky.
Yeah.
He's the sky god.
Oh, okay. Okay,
He's
so
also
I'll
the-
go
you've
for
got
Proteus
your
then.
heart, if you've got your heart set on two, you can have two, but I don't want you drinking a whole keg.
No, I would be pinching a keg.
Okay, so managing to line up, they do give you a drinking horn, which you have no idea the size or the how much it has in it.
Oh, could be one of those ones that was actually bigger on the inside ones.
But you do see the symbology of the sea god all around
Yep.
it. Meaning this drink will be fickle and prone to changing how it affects you.
Mm.
As that is the nature of Proteus.
Yep.
He is neither cruel nor kind. He is more uncaring than anything else. As is the sea.
Jeez. That's
Well, no, the sea cares for no one.
it's not Calcrix's kind of god.
Yeah, but it's the closest thing I'm going to get to the sea. Plus, the other thing is it's also the water. And I actually
Have
want to
you
know,
looked where we are? We're not that far from the sea.
metaphorically speaking.
I suspect there are excuses for you to have more than one.
It's
Yeah.
it's one of the few times you can actually drink a brew blessed by Proteus.
Yeah, no, and that's fine, but Calcrix is happily teasing him about this.
And the blessing of a god who's normally uncaring is very rare.
So you chose one from Proteus.
Okay, so while he's off doing that, we have Calcrix looking around, noticing that people from all over the northern reaches have gathered. You believe that it's in this city itself that the leaders of the three nations have come.
Okay, this is a good sign.
If you had to go into any of the other two, you wouldn't have had a chance to catch the leaders all together.
Yeah. So
Because
that's,
Ostland is a lot harder for the
Yeah.
land-based ones to go to, and in the Sodderford Yaldums, they're not really united. So
No.
there's no central point. Of all the three nations, this is the one area that they would willingly meet.
This is good news, and she will pass this information on to Yodri, even though he's only partially probably listening, and to Anton.
So,
It's also one of the safer areas due to the fact that they have to sail quite far to get to it.
So I realise that it's likely that the three are meeting here somewhere, probably in one of the main government buildings.
And while you were realizing that, we have Anton has managed to grab the attention of a couple of Black Earth cultists who are secretly off to the side.
Okay, I'm not dressed for it, but
You don't need to be if you are recognized.
okay, well, I've still got my sigil, I think it was, sigil on the palm of my left hand.
Exactly, you just need to go how.
Oh, well,
I
not
just
too obvious.
realised how
Not too
incredibly
obvious.
racist that would be.
Not too.
I apologise.
Not too obviously. So greet them.
Yes.
And, why are you here in the city?
Great things are occurring. They wish to lend their assistance in the endeavors of the nations.
Okay, so
As it's now their home, they want to be part of it, not apart from it.
okay, so we're joining in the war with all the great things that are happening.
Well, looking to support, not to fight.
Okay.
As they've come here to avoid fighting.
Yes.
That's not good news for us.
No. We just need to get in touch with the
With the
sponsors.
sponsor.
But the
that's
sponsor,
true.
we still don't want them to get actually involved in the fighting. They can do the supporting part.
Well, as fighters, they are amongst the most ruthless combatants on a battlefield.
Yeah,
Yes.
basically they're the equivalent of the berserkers, aren't they?
Worse than the
It's worth-
berserkers because they combine magic and combat.
It's worth remembering our goal here at the moment is to contact the
They are the shock troops of the Alphatian army.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work
sponsors.
out how that, because normally the berserkers don't have the ability to do magic.
That's why they're worse than berserkers.
That's scary.
That's why they were taken off the field of battle.
I was going to say it's worthwhile, at least for Calcrix, reminding ourselves that we're here to contact the sponsors so that we can get in touch with their primordial patrons so that we can broker more stability in the, not just in this area but the world everywhere in general, by getting the primordials to settle in back into some kind of routine. So
And so while they're talking to Anton, they sort of do mention that their presence in the talks with the various nobles here has kept the interests of Alphatia away from here. They will not come where we are.
Okay.
because of their new alliance,
Oh no, they're afraid of them.
Alphatia are.
Alphatia are afraid of the cults
Okay.
because they used to work for them. They know their capabilities.
Oh, I see.
That's one thing. Is there any remnants of the cults in Alphadia?
No,
That's a good thing.
they basically upped and left. Though their home is still standing and may have some secrets enough to.
So how far away
Technically
is that
recall
from
them.
Oslan? Can Oslan try to invade and take over that area?
It would be requiring them to navigate the Isle of Dawn and invade the homeland of Alphatia itself.
It would,
So it's too far away. I
It would be
thought it would be on the Isle of Dawn.
it would be far more effective for a group like ours to have a secret mission to go into their old temple or their old building and find said secrets after we found where they're most likely to have hidden those
So
secrets.
basically, if the shock troops were on the Isle of Dawn, it would belong to Alphatia. There'd be no ifs or buts. That was how afraid the rest of the people are of them. They kept the island in check.
That was when the
When they
Black
were
Earth
on-
followed Alphatia.
Yeah.
Now it's a different story.
Now they're trying a different path than open hostilities. They were the not-so-secret police.
Okay, so it's good to know that they're here to support the peace efforts.
Yes, it was an unjust war declared by Alphatia on Galantry.
Oh, okay.
And they do not fight for a cause they do not believe in.
I'm still trying to work out how the hell, other than using their bloody sky fleet, attacking Galantry.
They have teleportation magic. They have access to planar magic. They can literally...
Who is attacking them?
They cheat.
Alphatia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They are the flame walkers of this world.
Yeah, so I think we'll focus on Black Earth.
And he does state that they have been attacking Galantry by opening portals from other worlds into Galantry and dumping monsters there.
Oh, okay, that's what they're saying.
That's what Galantry has been doing. That's what Alphatia has been doing.
So the Black Earth people are telling us?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I did mistake that.
Because they don't have Black Earth cult at their disposal, they're basically doing it via third-party interference.
Okay. I mean, there's just so much going on, I find it really hard to fit it all together.
Basically,
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to reiterate
Banish!
the poignant points, because I'm having difficulty as well with all the insertions of other things going on. I'm like, I'm trying to focus on why we're here, which is to contact the cults and talk to them about cult stuff.
Well, this is specifically the cult stuff, is that they were big in the politics of Alphatia, and they still have contacts there.
Right, I see.
And so that they know that Alphatia has been spending the last 3 years opening portals in Galantry for aberrations and other creatures to roam in and attack.
Okay, and remember, what is Galantry again?
Galantry is the principality north of Durrican, which is home to a wizard community, where wizards are the only nobles of the nation.
And Galantry is what in terms of the war with the Master?
Galantry keep the Master from going around Durrican.
Okay.
They are powerful enough that the Master has not gone through.
Okay, so
There's also
Galantry is, if you like, on our side, loosely defined.
No, they're on their own side.
Just trying to
Yeah,
make
loosely
sense of all
defined.
this.
Yes,
Okay?
yeah. No, I do understand.
The other issue is we cannot enter into Galantry.
And that the Thyatid Empire has steps between Alphatia and Galantry to stop their troops marching across the entire region to Galantry. So if Thyatis hadn't entered a war with Alphatia, then Alphatia would already be there.
Okay. Yeah, this is very good. Now, circling back, now these portals are being opened by Galantry. What
Open in Galantry.
open in Galantry? Oh, okay.
He believes it's only a matter of time before Galantry use that against the Alphatians and send monsters back the other way. When you've got wizards and
And the Alphatians are the horse-riding nomads.
Alphatians are the Greek spells.
Ethengarians are the horse riding
Yeah,
nomads.
okay.
Yeah, there's
It's
a
It's
lot
almost
of,
like they can really reckon.
yeah.
There is quite a lot of information.
That's why I take notes.
But even then, it's just there's so many. Okay.
Right, so just to make sure we've got it straight, he's met with Black Earth people.
Yep.
They've informed him that they've come here into Norvik because they want to support any efforts towards peace,
Yep.
and they welcome the news of end of hostility. Then they've gone on
Before we
to
go further, I think that's peace between these three.
the three.
These
Yes.
three, not
Yes.
peace in general.
Yeah, that's what I said. At the end of hostilities between their three lands.
Yeah.
But they also still deeply into the politics of their old enslavers, which was Alphatia, which are the Greek magic people.
Yeah, the Greek spellcasting nation.
Spellcasting nation.
Yeah.
And
A bunch of tyrants who we all hate. Yeah, I get that.
and so he said that they're opening up portals in Glantry, who are the only people, or the main people, stopping the Master from invading the rest of the world beyond Darrakan, and they're letting aberrations and monsters in
To
cause havoc. And he thinks it's only a matter of time before Glantry will respond by doing the same thing. And so the reason they probably...
Faces are wizard types. What are the Glantrians?
The Glantrians are purely wizards.
Yeah.
Because you have to be a wizard to become
Okay.
in our fate, you just have to cast spells to become a noble.
Okay, right.
So,
Yeah, similar is why I find it confusing. Okay.
interestingly enough, Greek, no education needed. And Glantry, that's Alphasia, and Glantry is you need a master's in what you're doing and just straight magical.
And the other thing is it can't be holy.
And also...
not holy.
Yeah, they don't like gods.
And in Glantry, they are founded by the fire cults, and in Alphatia, they are founded by the air cults. And in the world that these cults came from, there was a war between the air and the fire that destroyed their plane of existence.
That I remember. Okay.
So that's also a renewing of a feud between the founders of both nations.
Okay. All right.
So they haven't learned even after destroying the whole plane of existence.
Okay, there's so many problems in the world that we can't deal with. All
Yeah.
right.
I
Yes.
find it overwhelming too.
Well, you're currently looking to stop the Master from achieving his objective by any means as the small win you're aiming for.
Yeah. Okay. Winding back to the purpose we're here. We're off to see the elemental sponsors to each of the 4 cults. Yep. Okay. And there's a hell of a lot of other things going on. Lots of noise here.
I'm back.
Hey,
So I have been listening in for about the last 10 minutes. I was just listening to what Martin was explaining.
All good. So do you find it interesting how they're talking about things escalating and going out of hand, and how they're just trying to be apart from the war but wanting to know what's happening?
Yep.
They do not believe that a war that Alphatia has started will result in any winners.
No, definitely not.
So no matter who calls themselves victor, everyone will be losing out.
That kind of gives you a good leading to say, well, speaking of trying to establish...
Aren't we heading for the... these are just ordinary people. We're trying to get to the
Well,
sponsors.
these are important people in the cult to have this level of knowledge.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so
All right.
these
I
might
thought it was
give us
just, I thought it was just
access-
ordinary members or something. Okay.
Ordinary members would gossip about a few things, but wouldn't have as much knowledge.
They wouldn't be able to say with certainty that they know that Alphatia is opening portals, because that would be a fairly high-level secret. Alphatia wouldn't want anyone to know.
And talking to you about this means that they know you're someone that they feel trusted enough to talk to, which means they have knowledge of who you are and what you represent.
Okay. That's interesting.
And also why they're in the city, because they're part of whatever delegation is here representing the cults.
Okay. We need to speak with, and I don't actually have the name of the elemental sponsor. Is the sponsor,
Ask.
big
It's probably
square
in the book
brackets?
that you're reading.
I gather you don't want
He says that
No.
there are two. He says there are 2 ways of getting permission to contact the sponsor. One is challenging their avatar and beating them in
Yeah, I've heard
combat.
about that one.
He doesn't recommend that one because
I'm not keen on it either.
they take challenges personally, because anyone who beats them generally has to kill them.
Yeah,
And then
it's
you
not,
end up
it's
having
not
to take
something I
their
was
mantle.
contemplating.
Pretty much it, yes.
Yes,
So
then you have-
what's the other?
The other one is there are 2 temples you can try to infiltrate and sneak through. Basically, your challenge is to get into the inner sanctum without being stopped by the guards.
Get into the inner sanctum. That's the inner sanctum of the, and I'm going to write the name again, the Sacred Stone Monastery.
Yep. That is actually below the Sacred Stone Monastery. There is a temple of the Black Earth beneath it. He can get you entry into the temple to start. But once you enter that temple, all inside are required to stop anyone getting through it.
Okay. Anyone, including other members of the
cult.
Black.
It is one of the challenges of right of entry. So that they're not there.
Sounds significant. Right of entry. What is the meaning?
Meaning, if you get through that temple, you have access to the connecting point between our sponsor and this world. It's called an Earth Node.
Earth Node. Okay.
It's where the master relic that your relic is connected to is bound.
Iron Fang. Okay.
So that's similar to the Giants thing that we saw.
Less than that, because it is an actual point that connects to the actual gods itself, not just connecting a group of people.
Is this some sort of rite of passage that members of the cult complete at times?
Members of the cult attempt if there is a dire need.
Okay, it's something we do. Okay, I get it. Okay.
It's when challenging to lead the cult is not what they want, but they just want information or to talk to the sponsor themselves.
Okay. I only wish to talk to the sponsor. I don't wish to
So
talk more.
the easier one is the one under the temple, is the Temple of the Black Earth. The harder one is going through their original temples, because all the cults were connected together as the Temple of the Four Elements in Alphatia.
Now, you said that you could help me at least get to the entrance to the monastery.
He can get you a pass that will allow you to go through the monastery and get whatever support you want from the monastery before attempting your mission.
Is this something I have to attempt on my own?
You do not have to attempt it on your own, but all who travel with you will share your fate.
Yeah, that's their problem.
As it is your quest, the others are along to help you, not to do it for you.
Thank you.
I presume Calcrick can hear, in which case she's just happy to be supportive in whatever ways that's required.
Okay, I presume this
So
will be...
they can fight for you, they can solve puzzles for you, they can do stuff for you, but in the end, it is your will that makes it possible.
So
ultimately falls on
he's
me.
the leader, he delegates, basically.
Yeah.
Eat, offer some cookies.
Bear in mind that cookies come with obligations.
The obligation is not to work for evil.
Not quite the same as what is actually the obligation.
I'm just joking. Eat, still offer some cookies. Whether or not they take one is up to them.
Every time you say that, it reminds me of Time Bandits. Don't touch that. That's evil.
Proshka's had enough. Proshka's... Yeah, just one.
He won't.
Just
he won't
one.
lose his soul to Exantiodal. So
Yeah, but he's putting on weight. Look at that skin fold.
these cookies don't make you gain weight. They make
Though you do see that Proska has a set of cards that you never gave him.
Yeah, I know. He's got a set of cards you never gave him. I got my own set of cards too, Proshka.
I
Yours are a bit
Proshka
different.
has
Yours seem to have far too many aces, as far as I can tell.
Well, he shows you to them that they all the symbolism on the card changes as he shows you.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes for an interesting game if they're not actually the same cards.
And they change as you look at them because apparently Shadow Dragons do have the capacity to
I suspect Proshka has
change things.
a stash of cookies. That you
Well,
don't know
Blizzard is wearing a parrot outfit.
Well, yeah.
That's the closest thing I can get to it.
Please don't give him so many bloody cookies.
Stop
One a
giving
day
him-
is enough. One's a
Stop
day.
giving him loads.
Well, then you got also coffee. Fairy dragon with coffee.
As long as it's not a pixie.
Eve doesn't handle the coffee. Eve only handles the cookies, and she doesn't give out that many. She just offers one to the Black Earth guys because that's what she does.
Okay.
He says it will probably take you about 4 days to reach their stronghold.
Okay.
Oh, it's a
Thank you.
tag for the Horde. I thought it was a thing. Okay, so we're heading to a temple.
Do you want
I thought I grabbed. Oh, I
to at least
did.
do some research for the other 3 cults as well?
Yes.
He can.
Crushing Wave and...
He says that some of their other leaders are here as well.
So maybe Yodri, depending on how he's affected, or Zal's here. So Zal would be also a good candidate if Yodri's drinking. Because you're here, aren't you, Amy?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just. I came pretty late. So
We're in a Norvik. We're in a Norvik Knights River Inn. They're currently celebrating the end of hostilities between their 3 regions. And this unification has been brought about by the necessity to go to war with Alphasia and Thyadia. Thyatis.
I didn't get it was a necessity. It gave it that they decided. It sounded like a great idea to them.
Yes, more a necessity in the sense that Alphasia and Thyatis are both warring with other people and each other, and it's a good opportunity to.
Well,
And no
too
one
good
really.
an opportunity to miss.
And no one really wants to attack the Northern Reaches because they are some of the nastiest seamen out there besides halflings.
So while we're here, it's a good opportunity for us to start getting in contact with the cults we're members of. We need to establish contact with this cult, as Anton's just demonstrated, because we need to reach each cultron's patron and ask them for help with getting access to the primordials, which we then need to convince to return to some kind of routine. Because the longer there aren't seasons and there aren't tides, etc., the worse things are in terms of food production, you know, that kind of thing. So while we're here, it would be a good opportunity for you to get in touch with the air, the Griffin people, and like Anton, find out how do you get access to a patron, do you need, what task do you need to do, what temple do you need to visit, that kind of thing. And Yodri, who's currently occupied by drinking a beer of Proteus, will hopefully not be so drunk by the time he's had it that he can do the same.
how quick do you drink?
What?
How quickly do you drink? Does the keg disappear very quickly? Or does it
I'm not
Oh,
drinking
he doesn't get a keg.
No, I'm just saying, if I can get my hands on a keg, it's going to disappear, but not. I'm not going to drink it. I'm going to
Does
keep
she
it.
need to roll a perception?
She will.
Or he,
I will
as
need to
Zal
roll
is?
a perception.
While we're doing that, one question. This is all going to get us to each cult will get us to a primal lord. Which
Each
one
cult-
for
yeah.
which one? Which one for which? I'm mining basically.
I'll
which
go back and
ones
look it
have
up for you, so that Martin doesn't
I got
have
the
to.
list of them here, but I haven't lined them up with any cults. That's all.
Well, so Black Earth will be whichever one's lined up with Earth. So do you
I've
have...
got
Primal
Dawn
Hunger.
Tide.
Primal
Hunger.
Hunger will
Primal
be
Hunger.
lined up with Earth.
Okay, Primal Hunger. I've written that badly. G Delta or something.
They have other names, but I can't remember them all off the top of my head.
Oh,
That's why
I'll
I'm starting
find
to
out.
link everything into the website. So all the names will be linked and the titles.
So that's the Tarask that got knocked out.
That's not the Tarask.
Oh, isn't it?
No.
Trask is something else.
It is a child of one of them.
Oh, okay.
23 for that perception.
Okay. So yes, you do see that there are quite a few Feathergale Knights in attendance in the city. And most of them seem to be on business, not drinking.
Oh. Oh no. Should be.
That's because drinking and flying don't mix.
Well, I mean, that suits Zal because I don't drink anyway, so. Oh. Phone. Oh. So they look to be on business, did you
Yeah,
say?
they seem to be on business.
Are they flying or are they like on the
Well,
like walking around
the ones you can
city?
see are walking around or watching over crowds.
Okay. I guess I'll go up to the closest ones I can see and ask them who the captain is here in the city.
Okay, so as you greet one of them, he goes, "Hail, Zal!"
Hail Zal. Oh, hello. Do I recognize the person?
He looks like a Feathergale Knight. Unfortunately, you never got all their names.
No.
It's really bad when you say they all look alike to you.
Good to see you. Who is in command of the Feathergale Knights in the city at the moment?
At the moment, we have. Let me see if I can find the name of the person so we can actually give you the right name. I'd hate to give you the wrong name.
Remember, Zal's short, isn't he?
Zal is short.
So they all look down on him.
Well, I mean, probably. I think most of the party does look down on Zal. Probably, you agree?
I still look up. But the thing is, you're only just taller than me.
Anton's not big.
I think, what did I say? Zal was...
I think you're 4 foot something.
I'm 5 foot... 5'1".
Okay.
Okay. It's the easiest place to look up stuff where I actually have sections of names. I just gotta find the air section. Okay, so they say that Thrall Moroska is here.
Roll Maroska.
Yep.
Had I...
He's the guy who indoctrinated you into the Feathergale Knights. So he's the leader of the Knights.
Isn't he the one who gave you the quest?
Which quest was this?
And
Feathers thing.
and since you've had a chance to read the guidebook of the Knights, you realise he's only a minor representative in the cult. He's the public face of the cult.
Where will I be able to find Thrall tonight?
He touches his sigil to his forehead, and then he says, he has called Thrall for you.
Ah, thank you.
He should be here in the next hour.
Yeah, sure.
Very good. How's the I point to the crowds tonight.
Crowds are doing well. We've only caught 3 Alphatian spies today. We feel like our duties are not going as well as we'd like.
What do you do with
I would have thought 3 would still be very good, but
We make them wish they never came.
That's good.
For at least 5 minutes.
Okay.
Why have I got a feeling they actually dropped them from a great height?
They do. With an anti-magic belt.
No feather fall.
No, that means that finding where they drop, because anti-magic items are really good.
Oh, it's very easy to get the belt back.
You just have to
Well,
clean it.
the person is generally dead afterwards.
Yeah.
No, you just have to clean it as well.
They're good for at least 5 drops.
That's good to know.
It's how they deal with undesirable snitches.
Well, I wish you luck in hunting more of these spies.
Well, they wish to disrupt the gathering and keep the antagonists between the 3 nations.
Yeah, because they don't want it unified.
How do you know? How do you spot the Alphatian spies? If we see any,
They're
like,
quite
take a
obvious.
few-
They're generally people who have more than one element.
Oh, okay.
Anyone who has more than one element is either with us or against us.
Okay. Look thoughtful about that.
Wait, don't I have 3 elements?
You do.
3.
3 is very unusual. It generally means nobility of Alphatia.
But I'm not Alphatian.
Uh,
And I
de-
don't think I have any relatives there.
So as soon as you have took your second element, you would be considered Alphatian by the rest of the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
we
it's
all have
that's how meaningful that is.
We all
Ah.
have more than one element.
Yeah, and all the cults have more than one element. So they follow the Alphatian tradition, even if they aren't Alphatian.
Okay.
Oh, the rest of the world only take one.
All right. Just continue to look thoughtful.
No, it means that the
Well,
one
pretty-
that you're speaking to's got more than one.
Yeah,
Because
Well,
part of
I'm
the cults.
pretty sure they've known I've had more than one for years, I think.
They have, because they gave you the dark element.
Yeah, because I've got air, dark, and the earth.
You had retained Earth, yes.
Yeah.
But they are debating whether or not they take the Earth away from you.
Great.
Because that's a different tradition to their own.
Aren't they in opposition to air and earth?
Air and Earth are opposing elements and can cause a lot of conflict. And the people who carry those ones are generally warmongers amongst their people.
You hear that, Zal?
Yeah, but you know,
I
I've been a
thought
black
they'd also
sheep.
probably be a diplomat because they can bridge both those people.
No, it's because those collide so often. They're the spark that starts the war.
That gives you fire as well, Zal.
So that gives you 4 elements.
I'm becoming a god. Wait.
Great, so you're Tiamat avatar.
Yeah.
Depends on if
no.
she stole the element or not.
Well, I haven't, so thankful for that.
Not like the data.
She does. He does say that if you really wish to advance in the cult, you would be best to lose the other element.
But I have a pretty strong tie to the earth through my cleric, don't I?
Yes, but in speaking to some of the heads of the cult, they will potentially smite you if you walk in with the earth element.
You still can use air with nature.
I
Yeah.
can. It might mean that my well, I could still like have Yamuga as my
Patron,
patron. I think.
be opposing her in elements.
Oh well, yeah, I would be opposing her in elements. But isn't there a
Become a ranger again.
I mean, she did give me that option, and I did turn it down. So don't think I'll get that option again. Probably not.
Well, it depends on what the what you want of the of Thrall, because you may have to do a great quest to gain much from him.
We don't have a good record with quests for Feathergale.
You do not.
That's because we were taking the shortcut.
Okay, so at this point, Thrall arrives, looking you up and down, and says, "So you still haven't purified yourself?"
No, but as I was just discussing, was I just discussing that with the dude, or was that sort of out of?
Oh, no, that was discussed with the guy who was waiting.
Yeah, right. Okay. As I was discussing with our colleague here,
Still haven't learned his name, he says. I see.
I'm not good with names. Okay. We were talking about that very thing. Now what I kind of missed the start of your explanation of what we actually are asking these guys for.
You were asking these guys to speak with their sponsor.
Right.
Because if you can get through to their sponsor, you'll actually have a way of getting the attention of the Primal Titans and get them to let nature take its course in the world instead of stopping seasons from changing. As spring has not started yet, and it is 2 months into spring.
Mm-hmm.
Which means nothing has started growing.
Okay.
Does that mean our seasons will be forever shifted, or will it just pick
your
up
seasons may stop completely. And you may be stuck in a forever winter.
The other thing we need to know is what would persuade the Primal Titans to actually sort of settle down again. I have no idea.
That's why we're reading the books.
Is
their
there
sponsors
somewhere
may know.
private we can talk? I have a question to ask of you.
He gestures around you, and you feel a rushing of wind around the two of you, and you suddenly hear the noise from everyone else fade away.
Yes, you've just entered the cone of silence.
Neat trick. I like it.
Being the boss has perks, he says.
Being one with air has perks because that's the way you can do it. Instead of having everybody else either has to put a wall of earth around.
Yeah, I
wall of
think
fire can do
all
anything.
this air stuff, it's all so flighty and insubstantial, you know?
Says, so what do you wish to ask?
I'm here to ask what steps I need to do in order to be able... Is it to talk to the patron? Sorry,
To speak with the patron, yes.
Yeah, to speak with the patron. To speak with the patron of the Feathergale Knights.
It says, that's fairly simple. You can challenge the head of the temple and to single combat. And if you beat the head of the temple, you gain the right to speak with the patron whenever you wish to.
Yes, but then you also become the head of the temple.
That is also true. Yeah.
And is there a way to do that without becoming the head of the Feathergale Knights?
There are two other ways of doing so. One requires you to navigate through their test of worthiness. Only those who wish to ask but not lead take that way. If you wish to lead, you need to challenge the leader.
Yep.
If you wish to ask, you take the test. There are two places to take the test, which is why there are two ways of doing it. One is below Feathergale Spire. The other is in the heartland of Alphatia.
I would presume the Spire is the closest one we have available.
The Spire is within 3 days of here. the center of Alphatia is at least 2 months away.
Yeah.
The only
And so
advantage of the
from my
Alphadia ones
understanding,
is
I just need to
they're all
ask the
almost together.
patron.
Sorry, 2 people were talking there. What did you say, Ross?
I'm just saying the only advantage with the Alphadian one is all of them are there.
All of them are in the one spot. And what were you saying, Em?
Oh, sorry. From my understanding is that we don't necessarily want to take leadership of the cults. We just want to ask the patron about the primal gods.
That's basically it. If you want to bring the cults into the war effort, you'd have to take leadership. And that's if you're ready to take on one-on-one combat with whoever's in charge, who actually carries the artifact that your weapon is a minor version of.
Right. Okay.
So they control the primary artifact.
So what I'm hearing is that we are all thinking of challenging the leaders of these cults.
At this stage, Anton has decided to take the test to ask questions of the sponsor.
I don't want to be ruler of any cult.
The other thing is, what happens if the master ends up getting the artifact?
If the master gets the artifact, the master may have a direct line to the patron as well.
Which is a bad thing.
Pretty much everything with the master.
No, it means that he can actually go, ooh, okay, I want to suck the power of the...
He may be able to draw on the element as part of his power.
Yeah.
Because the prime artifact is connected to the elemental node.
Which does not sound like a good thing to do. It's
Um,
probably just
do
as
I
bad
need
as the
an
elven thing.
update?
Well, the prime artifact is what can create the devastation orbs.
Yeah.
The lesser ones do not have that capability.
Oh, God. So,
Literally.
if he starts... I said God, not God.
I can put protect.
So,
I'm okay. I got it.
So, devastation rounds. So, he can artillery rounds.
He can literally lob one into an area and have it detonate by striking.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, basically, he's got the nuclear capability. Instead of having to try to cast a portal and throw it through. Actually, would that work, casting a portal and throwing it through? Or it can't?
A portal would detonate it on both sides of the portal. That's what happened. Would have happened last time, except the portal was a special portal. Something the master doesn't have access to.
So, what's the context of us talking about lobbing destruction?
They were talking about. Zal was mentioning challenging for leadership of the air cult.
Okay. Does she really want to lead a cult?
No, I was talking about that, and then it means that you also then get the artifact. And then I'm going, okay, if Zal falls in battle against the Master, means the Master ends up getting an artifact, and that artifact has the same effect as what the...
She may not have...
And the additional thing they add to Zal is the challenge is to the death. There is no submission, no other way of doing about it. You either live or you die if you challenge for leadership.
Is this just for access to a patron? Is there no
Um,
other way?
The other way has been discussed. This is giving Em the information she needs
Right.
to make the decision.
I have not had great experiences with one-on-one combat, and my hit points are still not that great.
The leader has led the cult for 500 years, so
Ooh.
you may struggle to take control away from her.
Yeah. I would rather do the trial.
He can arrange for
just-
you to get a permission to take the trial. Once you leave the Feathergale Spire, from that point onwards, everyone's task in the Temple of the Howling Hatred will be to stop you at any means necessary.
to do the trial?
What the trial is, they have to stop her getting to the end, get him getting to the end by any means necessary.
Wow.
That's the
The
Black Earth.
people
Yeah.
only take the trial if they have a question that they need to ask the sponsor that
Wow.
is worth that risk.
Okay.
It's not for the faint of heart, and it's only taken in dire need.
Yep. I would say that this qualifies as dire need.
But it is, but you can take whoever you wish with you. But it is your trial, and you must reach the end of it. If other people do not reach the end of it, that's unimportant. And what they do for you is all in your name.
Mm-hmm.
So what Calcrix wants to know, and it might be up for her to ask her cult leader or her elemental connection, is if someone's attacking either Anton or Zal and she Greater Dragon breaths them into oblivion, they still make it to the end, but she, blasted a few of them with the Greater Dragon breath. Will they fail that trial?
So while he's having the conversation with Zal in private, he would be happy to, because he had stated that whatever the people he takes into the trial with him does is considered to have been done by Zal.
Oh, okay.
We're the
Sorry, I did miss
servants,
that.
extensions, companions at best.
Yeah, that's why I'm clarifying for you, and also pointing out that
So
it's
if you
Zal's
guys
conversation.
murder a whole bunch of them, it means I've murdered a whole bunch of them.
But on the flip side, if Zal fails, we fail.
But they are all there to technically fight to stop you getting to the end, because part of the trial is you must earn it.
As a player, to reassure Zal, although Zal probably doesn't need it, Calcrix has learned to use, her preference is stun over obliterate.
And it is a dungeon crawl which is designed to test you.
Which means cattle.
Oh, it's dungeon crawl. Okay.
Each temple is a dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
But you're water, so probably a water-related dungeon crawl, earth, and then air. She's more likely to be catapulted.
Yeah,
Or
I'm more
electrified.
likely to have my ass kicked.
Well, at least you got an air dragon with you.
It will be shocking.
I guess that's one of the benefits for Yodri and Feyre, I think, and Zal, is that Calcrix has those elements too. So they're going in terms of that element with a secondary backup for those ones. Unfortunately, Anton is kind of on his own, and Cheval is always happy being the only one to make the world burn.
So Zal does share elements with Anton.
Does she?
So,
Nice. So you
that
have
there
a
is
backup?
assistance there.
Yep.
Oh, well, look, we've got the huge advantage on the Black Earth quest. We'll be walking on our feet, not this flying thing.
I did forget your aversion.
It will be designed to
Well,
test the Black Earth people more than anyone else. So that means that other elements may actually do it easier than you, and
okay.
you have the hard point. Whereas the same with each of the other tests are designed to test the questioner more than the people with them.
Ah, good. We won't be flying then.
Yeah, I'm sure you're so thrilled about that.
Oh, he's delighted.
Well, my previous experience with trying to ride griffins.
Okay, so sorry, I didn't mean to come in the middle of that.
It's all good.
Use
I wanted to make sure you got the correct information instead of go off on a tangent.
Yeah, so I think I also agree with just doing the trial. There is no way that I'm capable enough of beating someone else to death to gain ownership of one of these cults. Especially if they've been leading them for 500 years. That sounds like they're an elf themselves.
It says that they are an elf, but part of leadership is you stop aging.
Ah, okay.
You become the avatar of the Elemental Lord.
Ooh, that's really interesting. Does that mean you stop changing as well? So
Yes.
they're effectively as they were 500 years ago?
It depends on the element.
So
The elemental stone ones generally are frozen in development.
Okay.
But they are resistant to far more things.
So I'd be guessing that the leader of all of these cults are the avatars,
They are.
also of all these elemental lords.
That is their role. And the Dark Lady is the avatar of them all.
Okay.
Yodri, do you want to go?
As Nick stands above all four.
And Nyx is my other connection to the entropy. It's
Yes.
those two.
So the Dark Lady serves Nyx, which is the Elemental
Queen.
Lord of Dark. Well, Elemental Lady of Darkness. So, Em, did you have any more questions of him?
No, I think I have gotten my answer and gotten my path. So I appreciate you being able to come over so speedily.
And so, while Yodri's busy trying to figure out what to drink first,
No.
No, I went for the.
no, you've got while you're in the middle of getting that horn, you find yourself next to a water genasi.
Oh, cool.
He says, "So, why have you come to Norwich?"
Well, to seek guidance and try to settle the.
Settle old scores.
I don't have any old scores here.
Young scores said.
No. Well, the elements are out of whack.
They're always out of whack.
Yeah, but this time it's really bad. They're affecting the seasons.
He sighs and says, "Yeah, he's seen that quite a lot."
We're trying to work out how to get it back to the norm.
Well, one way is whacking all the people messing with things.
The things that are messing with the primals.
Yeah, give it a good whack and I'm sure it will go back to sleep. He wishes you all the best with that.
Kind of gave it a good whack, and that's what woke it up.
The problem is, I believe that's what woke them up.
Then maybe it will work
Yeah,
in putting
you
him to sleep as well. Who
You
knows?
know that.
Try and try again.
No, I think of it more of a lullaby type thing. You know, just to settle the.
So, have you got a good performance planned?
Well, a rather good performance. Maybe get them drunk.
That would work too well. They'd have to drink an ocean's worth of alcohol. They are big creatures after all.
Mm,
Yeah.
A primal titan has more than... some of them have wingspans of more than 2 miles.
Bottomless skulls. Yep.
Endless hunger is one of the things associated with them.
Yeah, but that's don't think I'm going to be speaking to the endless hunger one. That's not the water one, is it?
The death one can have endless hunger as well.
Death one's endless hunger as well.
All of them have endless hunger.
Oh,
They are not sated by whatever they consume.
yeah.
There's a primal titan with the tides. It's probably yours.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, I've been given the task of trying to placate them, or most likely die trying.
He laughs and says, he just rolls the punches.
Yeah, or don't you mean roll with the waves?
Well, the best way to deal with most conflict is to let it pass by and move it where you want it to go.
Yeah.
Don't try to stop it, just guide it to where it's best used.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
It is the philosophy of the crushing wave, is to let the wave crush your targets, not you.
Yeah, but I'm more also worried that the target that I wanted to go towards may try to take control.
If you try to send it towards the master already has a piece of it.
What?
It's how he took its power.
Okay, so how do you take it back?
You convince it not to go.
So that's the reason why they're screwing up, because the master's already got a bit of it.
He has a piece of each.
So we need to convince something that doesn't want to be convinced something that's uncontrollable to...
That they do have power, they do have knowledge, and they are learning.
So,
Why they slept, they learned.
okay. That's a good thing to know. But are they pissed off if they've been
They are
sleeping?
still angry.
So they're angry at the titans that caused them to go to sleep.
They are angry at the one who was stolen from them,
The master
and that includes a lot of the gods.
and the gods.
Be wary who you steal from, for they may come back and swack you.
True.
The old saying of a dish best served cold was originally termed about the primal tide.
Yeah. So, how do I get an introduction to be able to speak to them?
Well, he doesn't recommend challenging Gar Shatterkill.
Oh, I wasn't planning on challenging. I do not want to take over the
Gar would
Christing one.
most likely one bite take your head off.
Well, that too.
He's not known for his patience or his fair play.
This is the primal titan, not the
The-
elemental lord.
This is the head of the crushing wave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
First time someone has named him. It has been in his best interest to bring the cult here and work with the others, because he has more chance of leading, influencing the others away from Alphatia.
Also,
He is also the least trustworthy of them all.
this seems like it's going to be or partly at least, a war on the sea. So, crushing wave should have a lot of fun with that.
It should.
He's easy
Though
to anger, isn't he?
we are still trying to not go to war on sea, because once we start, we never stop.
Oh, okay.
We will not stop until we have annihilated all the enemies.
What is this with all of them being berserkers?
We're not berserkers, it's just our belief.
Yeah, I'm just-
Once we're unleashed, we must finish our task. We are compelled by our own magic. As the sea is slow to wake and anger, but once it's angered, it will destroy all it faces.
You know. Gyrations or facies. They sort of set themselves up for this.
Yes, but if
No, the problem is, once they're started, they can't stop.
until they're wiped out or they wipe out the enemy.
Yeah, but the problem is, normally what will happen is they'll wipe out one, and then something else will front up, and then they'll have to attack them, and then it'll just keep on going.
Vicious cycle.
Yeah, so what will happen is if they axe, when they're attacking the Alpha Asians, if some other country just happen to have a ship in there, and they get destroyed as well.
Maybe.
I could just
It
see
can
it.
snowball, yes.
I could just see it snowball.
They're basic. Most of the shock troops are taken in as a last resort sort of troop.
So, in order to see Gar,
If you wish to fight Gar, he does not recommend it.
Oh,
no, but
No.
he wants to
Gar
get
is
an audience.
Gar
doesn't he?
is not the avatar.
Ah,
So
I
no,
see.
so Gar is the avatar. He's not the sponsor.
Oh, okay. This is good to know.
Which is, I said, it's the first time someone named one of the avatars, because the other avatars have not been named.
I thought we named Thrall.
Thrall is the captain of the Feathergale Knights. He's not the avatar.
he's the face.
Okay.
He's the face.
Because, yeah, I can see once you are anger Gar, that's the you're releasing the unstoppable force.
Pretty much, yes.
Release the Kraken.
He has fought the Kraken before.
Okay. So that means he's defeated the Kraken.
He has defeated the Kraken.
More than once, from the sounds of things.
Okay. Yeah. Yep, I'm definitely not going.
Yes. He is a force of nature, he says.
Aren't all the avatars supposed to be a force of nature?
No, the others are less so.
It's fortunate for you that you want
They represent their element more than anything else. And of all of them, when I say wind blows, earth
Sits.
sort of stagnates, fire
Destroys.
burns, and
Consumes.
water consumes a lot of stuff.
Erodes.
Moves things around, and bludgeons things until they submit.
Earth epitomises purpose and stability.
Yes, but from the earth side, yes. From the water side, they're always derogatory of the other elements.
So
Yeah, you just sit there and take it all, and then you just get
No,
eroded away.
I have a lot of respect for water.
So, why do you seek to speak to one of the sponsors?
Well, I wish to bring balance back. Because
Balance is overrated, but if you really wish to speak but not lead, he can arrange for you to enter under the monastery and take the test. He knows that.
Everybody will try to prevent me from.
Oh, everyone there will try to kill you. That's basically their purpose. He doesn't banter around with words. He just says things as they are.
Yeah, but Gar won't interfere.
Gar will not be there.
Oh, that's a bonus.
He will watch and determine if you're worthy to enter.
Okay. So it means that I'll have two people watching, two things watching me.
Yes. If he doesn't deem you worthy, he will challenge you.
Which would be worse, being devoured by Gar or devoured by
Death.
death?
Says, well, devoured by Gar has a chance of being brought back.
So Tide is also death?
I know that Primal Death is also watching him.
Oh, okay.
He got Primal Death's attention.
Yeah. Probably because I've been trying to dodge everything. And I'm the only one who hasn't actually died and come back as a,
I haven't died.
Calcrix hasn't died yet either.
Yeah, but the problem is if you die, you end up becoming back as one of the multicoloured dragons.
Not yet.
As far as I know, I've never died.
No.
No, I was gonna say
that's
Anton.
because
Unless, of course, you're already dead.
Yeah, well, Drazzle says I'm dead in every other time stream. But, you know, that's...
Yeah, that's because this one you're not. So you are dead. No, it's
From
just
a certain point of view, yes.
yeah, it's just that everybody else has changed due to the fact of mentioning deities of some sort. That's why I try to avoid mentioning anything that
So if you wish to take the test, he can suggest it. He wouldn't recommend going to the Temple of Four Elements because they're a little nastier.
well, plus the territory's a little bit unfriendly at the moment.
Though if you wish to challenge for leadership, you'd have to go there. That's the only place they fight.
Okay, well, I do not want to go there.
Yes. Well, he thought he would step in and advise you, considering he saw the company you were in.
Does
We're
that
not
mean
embarrassing,
we're bad
are we?
company?
No, for members of the four cults being travelling together, obviously have a purpose.
Right, yeah. Because he's with the other elements, so to speak.
He's also a higher member than any of the other people you've spoken to. So he knows the other cults specifically.
Now, do I have any problems if I drink this?
He says yes, but that's worth it. Proteus is a god of time, even though he's also a god of the ocean. So the best thing about things of him is if you drink it at the appropriate time, you get a bonus. If you drink it at the wrong time, he will screw with you.
So you may want
But
to...
which is the right time, which is the wrong
put it
time is
in a flask.
completely up to Proteus.
Or a skin.
And he chuckles at that because he knows the finical nature of the god.
You
The
may
blessing
want to...
is also a curse.
You may want to keep the... see if you put the Odin one in a skin as well. Keep them both for when the time needs. I just wanted to check. He did not recommend going to the Ford.
The Temple of the Four Elements.
The Temple of the Four Elements.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where you have the single combats.
You have to work out a way of saving it. Because the horn's
just-
enchanted, isn't it?
It is an enchanted horn and it won't pour out unless you drink it.
Well, you could just store it like that then.
I'll store
and
it there.
See if you can get a second horn. Because you wanted Odin's one too?
I wanted the wisdom, but I think that you can't. The thing that I'm not that great with religion, but I don't think you could probably mix them.
Most gods are jealous.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
mix them, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll just stick with Proteus.
Yeah.
And if he drinks it at the right time, he'll probably get a great boon.
Calcrix wants to know if she can have one of the... Because she's taken note that Odin is a god of wisdom and knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Would she be allowed to either take a horn with her or drink some at an appropriate time?
They gift you a horn.
Ooh. Is it okay for her to save it for when she's ready?
They say that as part of the festivities, this is a gift to take when you want to take it.
Ooh. Gonna make big note of that.
And many of the people taking their horns now are saving them for the war.
Well then she would very much like one.
You're
Because
taking them early because, hey, it's alcohol. And it's rare.
she will pass on this knowledge to Anton in case he wants something from one of the gods here in terms of wisdom or...
Well, it
Other
depends. Are you
things
actually religious? I mean, really,
Not
really,
really.
really religious.
Well, look, I'm in the church, but only in the most basic way.
Odin himself is the patron of the Traldar, so he was one of the gods that the Traldarans' patrons followed.
Okay.
So while the patrons of the Traldara, the three main ones are Halev, Petra, and Zerchev.
Mm.
Okay. And
Halev being the warrior king leader,
Mhm.
Petra being the warrior queen leader,
Yeah.
and Zerchev being the patron of nature
The only one I've
and
heard of
wizard.
before is Halov, but yeah. I was wondering, is there an Ethengaran related one here? Because I think Zal's
Ethengarian would definitely be Ixion, the sun god, being Tubak.
Yeah.
There would also be Terra, Mother Nature, would be represented here.
That would be...
As Freya and Free are both believers in her teachings, as would Krisha, the trickster god.
I think, and if Zal's on, she can correct me, but I think Terra is probably one of the ones that she...
Which is known as Yamuga, the
yeah, that's
Yurt
the...
dweller.
Yeah, that's the one that she...
Is her actual patron.
Yeah, so yeah, it translates because we were talking at some point about jointly contacting Imuga instead of Ka about Calcrix's desire to make reparation or to do something about the orphaned dinosaurs from her letter. So that
Because the current top gods are Odin for thought, Terra for earth, Hel for entropy, Ixion for fire and energy, and who did I miss? Kronos for water and time.
Okay. And these horns give you a drink that connects you with one of them, does it?
Gives you a blessing of the god that you take it from.
in
Okay,
terms
so
of,
you actually know which one you've got. do you?
Yes.
Yeah. So she's taken one from Odin because she's greatly admired the idea of wisdom and knowledge, and she feels that in this war, the more wisdom and knowledge you have, the better.
And many obscure gods are available on this night, which are rarely available. Such as Proteus being available because he doesn't bless many things. Or curse many
what are
things.
the
There's a certain
Tel-
Wednesday
Tel-
night party member who'd be...
Halos would definitely have a following here, as would Petra. Zerchev would less so because he's more nature, but there are nature people here.
Okay, Zerchev is nature. Hala is...
Halev is more warrior men.
Yep.
He was the king of the Traldar.
Not to be confused with Hela.
And Petra was his queen and also the patron of warrior women.
There's too much war in this world. Far too much damn war. I'll go for Zerchek if I can find it. It's a long shot.
It is fairly easy to find once you know where to look.
Okay.
And as you're there, you realise that there is one off in the shadows nearby that's calling to you.
Okay. I head over.
Someone just hands you something and says, I think I know this is for you.
Thank you.
Has the symbology of the Black Knight on it.
Does Zal take a horn? Yours was Proteus, wasn't it? And it's C's. And Zerchek was nature, was it?
Zerchev was nature, but he didn't pick it up. He got a different one.
Yes.
Oh.
He got it from his patron.
Yeah.
If I ever find out my patron, I actually lose badly, I'm told. So, don't say things
I
like
got
that.
a sneaking suspicion you basically lose. I
I
think your
become-
patron is basically
I become-
something of the dark fae, and you end up becoming probably of the dark fae. So
I suspect I suspect what happens is I get permanently possessed. Temperate.
Well, no, you'll be either subjugated to a lot of rules.
Or you really become the Black Knight you don't want to be.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, Zal, did you have a preference?
Sorry, for what?
The others have picked up a drink blessed by their gods.
It's
And-
a double-edged sword, Zal.
I was suggesting, since Terra was available and she's the equivalent of a Muga, possibly one you want, but Martin said there are hundreds of gods available here that aren't normally available, so if there's one that you can think of from Zal's history that she would choose over that, then you're welcome to choose that. I was just trying to make it easier for you, as you might not have been able to listen in to the whole of the conversation.
I don't think I'd want to talk to any other.
Oh no, it's
gods.
not about talking to them. So if when you drink the drink, you get a blessing. So Calcrix has taken one from Odin because it will hopefully give her the blessing of wisdom or knowledge when she drinks it, and she's saving it for a time when she thinks wisdom and knowledge will greatly help her, like when she's just about to talk to the patron, the patron of
the cult.
primal god of the cult, because
Yeah.
that or you might take one of like I was suggesting Terra, but you might take Odin's one of wisdom and knowledge for when you take the start the trial, so that you have that extra blessing of wisdom and knowledge of how to get through the trial.
I think I would still take Yamugus.
Yeah, so that would be Terra, the equivalent
Terra,
of
yep.
yeah.
Not the dinosaur god.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
The T-Rex.
I still have those scars on my sternum. Thank you very much.
Well, hey, they might count as a holy symbol.
Maybe. I certainly don't pray to them.
What, you don't pray they go away?
I mean, I have lots of scars at this point, so you know.
But isn't it bragging rights?
You got bit by
What,
something this big.
I've been chewed by a giant dinosaur. Yeah, I'm the chew
Well,
toy of a giant dinosaur.
No, let's see.
In Calcrix's mind, it's how you tell the story,
see.
not what the story is.
You've been chewed by a dinosaur. You've been chewed up by a bloody. What was it? What's it? The damn. The
Night Stalker.
no, not the Night Stalker. The dropper thing or whatever. The thing that was doing this, the fish.
The roper.
Oh, the
The roper.
groper.
Yeah, groper. So you've been chewed on by a groper.
But the roper killed her.
There's
Yeah.
a theme here.
Yeah, the
Well, no,
roper
no.
murdered me.
Well, the T-Rex killed her as well.
No, it
I
did.
feel I should.
Not fully. She was combat killed. He was combat killed.
Calcrix
I
needs to get a
went
summary
down
of
to
these
0 hit
terms.
points. I didn't get absolutely annihilated like I did with the roper.
Well, if we didn't Pokeball you,
See,
you
got
would have
one
been
from your
dead.
patron.
Yeah, probably.
But they did save you, so you've got bragging rights for you took this damage and survived.
Yeah.
It's like a massive shark bite on someone and then saying, this happened and I'm still around.
Mind you, that would actually be classed as a holy because it actually is a symbol of you resilience against the beasts.
Yeah, I guess so.
So there you go. You can start following the beasts. So you can give up on your earthy and go for air.
The Earth is Ka is also of Earth.
Yeah, you're really
And
stuck
Ka-
with a rock and a hard place, aren't you?
Ka is a servant of Terra, so Terra is the
Earth
top
again.
tier of the Earth gods.
Yeah.
She is responsible for keeping Earth going and matter going, whereas Ixion is responsible for keeping fire and energy going.
Yeah, Ixion's currently gone out of control.
And fire is in dominance in the world right now.
Well, you could do something about that. You got water.
Yes and no.
But also fire, the energy sphere is the source of all magic. So, with that, those happy thoughts of stuff, and each of you getting a potion to use at an appropriate time later in the story, most likely this season, we shall end it there unless you want to add anything else.
Was going to look to do a scene eventually, but probably not this late into the evening. So maybe next time I'll probably need to discuss implications with you, but I think you said there's less implications if Calcrix and
Initiates it instead of trying to
Does-
request it.
with Sal contacts Terra about how best to make reparations for the dinosaurs. The reason why this has just occurred to her should be a high priority is because we're now about to go to the primal gods and try to talk them into settling into routines, and Tuesday's party having caused the chaos that they did, she feels before she goes there, it's kind of like with the dwarves, she should have at least done something about it. So that she can say, look, I did make this mistake, but I am trying
If
to.
you like, we can plan for at the start of next session that can happen, so
Yeah.
you've got 2 weeks to figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, we might have to be careful about this start because it depends on when Mia gets to bed, because I'll need Sal's help for that one.
Yep.
But yeah,
All
that
good.
would be good.
Okay, so, any other questions?
All good.
We shall put it on end credits and then you'll get some more info.